I'm just, and we are live. Obviously, for Mechiamo, me mamo ajo. Me my last discussion, the catcher was I was trying to get a guest on, and I'm very excited. I have actually managed to get Kweku Annan himself on. I'm just going to put on the your friends an intro for 30 seconds, and that's your 30 seconds cue to invite everybody. Me interview Kweku Annan, the personality, but Kweku Annan, the way you know him from Net2. That's the introduction for some people, just so you can make associations. But we are in Net2, we represent Wawa. And then the man Kweku Annan and the Meshiano. Nam person nini din komo. Mechiamu na me mama kwaba. Mommy and fat intro into so. Me a share the free will be a catching up for saying you be din komo. I have you to. You're starting to say with a 30-second countdown no, for you start time no. So I invite you will be our person will be now.
The Amma Manson show starts in 30 seconds. All right then, are you ready? Do you have a drink? Are you sat comfortably? All right, good stuff. Now let's do the other admin. Call a friend, to tell a friend, to invite a friend, to get a friend on, because the show is on in a few seconds. Why should they be on? They need to be on here to learn, to have fun, to widen their horizons. And that's what the show is about anyway. Are you ready? Well, I hope you are, because I am. I'm excited. Looking forward to another smashing show with you as my guest.
Okay, welcome back. I hope since that time no me de ma mo no a me ka se mo inviting crowd no mo mutimi de invite mo crowd nyina me ankasa de ma awie eti si ebetimi aye ne se meja share no de ama mo na nka mo matoa so na me de nkomo no me de ahihye so we de amajo akwa aba eti say
Yankopon adomo ye hoye ama
we de wan kasa nim se wo hoye nya crowd ne se wo hoye
ai me hoye one of those. Yes.
And then me say the man Kweku Annan and person me need.
Yeah.
Whoa. Why no. Mon kafra if you had thought I'm going to be Gitania. Who's that? Mon kafra why if you have for home and sign you may tell Hanum Kitania mashim bang bang. Anyway, Kweku Akwaba. Audience, maybe audience, maybe I know what they are meeting you for the first time. Let me allow you to introduce yourself the way you want the audience to get to know you. Saying our person audience need me too.
Yeah, say Kweku Annan is a very simple person. Kweku is a journalist, as an undercover investigative journalist. And we more on Net2 TV. Me host two program. I'm say Ubia Paso Hua program where your friend the seat SEAT show, the seat show program where our Net2 TV. You're broadcasting on Mondays and Wednesdays. Yes, that's the program I host to Mondays 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. the same time Wednesday. Kweku is also the CEO of a private investigative company called the Hawk Investigative Company. And also the area and say your Buankro for Emma or any answers to their problems depends on what the issues are as far as investigations are concerned into the corporate world, the banking sector, the political circles, national security, all issues across. And so basically, that is the Juma Kweku primarily I'm well vested in, and then other parts that follow, basically.
Okay. And we are investigative journalists. Also, what you share some I'm a church of to say Rashida Michelle.
That's correct.
Also, can you just report me to say? Kweku, why you investigative journalist now? Mommy, starting free. Oh, be investigative journalist no and I yako na uko school krawe. I would like to know some of those things.
That is one area I wouldn't want to go much into.
Okay.
Yes.
Scratch the opposite can be actually and keep it
yes.
as brief as you want.
More of it before. Now Kweku or strictly undercover, not TV nka mejuma ho. But onyankopon ewo kwan ofaso ye ne nneoma ina my big brother honorable Kennedy Kwame Akompreko Japan has to convince me at a time, say no, you have to, come out from this your oblivion and then show your face to Ghanaians, the global world, and then let them feel the talent that is in you, that is able to help people to achieve and have results. And yes, strictly because what we do sometimes in intelligence, we have this to say, no trace, no name. And sometimes you don't want to give a lot of traces to your background where easy to trace. But Metimiaka said, partially or not partially, a major part of my life, I live it in the northern region and the upper east to be precise. When I call my primary school, I call my secondary school before I roll down to Greater Accra, and then some few travelings also out there to expand the educational level. And that is the Kweku Annan, Okay, so basically it's a question.
And to say investigative journalism, a very interesting Ghana. You've enjoyed some limelight. How does one become an investor? We are then our hard work when we investigative journalism. And our person we concern the there and I saw you there and
yeah, Amma, on a more serious note, people attach journalism to that of say women and concern and see it's always the mantra. But there is more to that of somebody becoming a journalist and also to move further to become an investigative journalist, or if you like, an undercover journalist. In the school of journalism, whether private or the mainstream, said where you can identify your area of scope and operations. Again, said the attraction up to Ankro more Waku school no, and I will be say okay. So see, and Messia Edwani Messia Adini area no, many knowledge no. I want to decide to go into this field, but I'll tell you quickly, sir. To become an investigative, an undercover investigative journalist, it's like a choice. It's like a talent. One, it must come on grounds of talent, and then two, it must also come on the grounds of a feeling. The person feel to do this, because if I'm yet a passion-driven idea, now you push you do Koshima. For what I can tell you with my experience, 20 years down the line, as an investigative journalist, you fail because I'm back with a passion-driven. And then the excitement to drive you into all the areas now. Are most dangerous to venture into such avenues, especially in this very modern age of our world, where crime has become pretty much sophisticated. And just being an investigative journalist doesn't mean that the idea you can spook your nose into to go and research and to pick issues and all of that. No. They do more one year careful. You'll be killed, or you be to or some sort. It's a highly risk venture. Unlike the mainstream journalists, or reporter, radio station or television station or newspaper, and then you just drop it, then you go. The investigative journalist would want to tell a story from a different dimension. What again it means is that telling the story goes much with proving a point and again evidence-based. Into Ebibeba with audio recordings, Ebibeba with footages, journal, Ebibeba in many forms, all amount to that of you want to prove a point with evidence. Unlike the mainstream television, when they want to tell the story with some rushes all behind it and then the story ends with it. Investigative journalists would want to do sometimes like a documentary. So now I will share that group your more Nigeria from Black Axe here. Black Axe is a terrorist group, a terrorist organization, well-known, notorious group. Just say gradually, one more enrolling into the global stage. We share Nigeria here. When we read the Nigerian politics anymore, when we read the corporate world, every facet of Nigeria, they are there. And even as I speak in Ghana, they are here. And across various parts, various parts of the world, I have dealt with that group here in Nigeria. Now, why I use this word, that crime has become very sophisticated. This is a group, wherever they go with different identity. For you to be able to track their footsteps comes with a certain knowledge base. So they mentioned. Indeed, that is how investigative journalists can operate. And Moshe recently, BBC documentary on Black Eyes Act was a guy in Europe, or a journalist, almost sending them an call grounds to be able to tell the story better. The guy has to go mingle with them, be part of the people, and then also can go along and flow along. So he was able to have a lot of footages. I make as a YouTuber, I had the Black Axe documentary by BBC. It's a clear, typical example of investigative piece, what it means by telling the story from a certain standpoint with evidence base. So, and we share show means me who's to the seed show. I'm saying show need it say 2 years here. 2 years I can tell our listeners and our viewers that this is a show that has really shook the foundations of Ghana and beyond. Why do I say so? Because one of our expose, right from the beginning of the takeoff, was the expose of fake pastors, prophets, and bishops in Ghana.
Yes.
Where I saw funny degree, we expose them to the core. More opportunity to come out, answer questions, and also to tell why they were into such situations. They see ne. I saw funny abubu dini na motieni na bakukre no to me see na TV, and that was the part one of that expose. With the hope said Yebeko part two very soon. I'm sure if we jump into 2022, Yebeko because Ghana has said limiting it to Ghana. Ama adeba kwa edi Ghana crew on my way edi nyakese. Apart from that, politicians are known to be corrupt. Politicians are known to be amassing wealth, and then also with their 10 hands dipping into the national coffers. Another group of people who are also part of the umbilical cord, destroying Ghana, even much more than the politicians, and here I have to say, Asofo but yes, because UN statistics on my way, across and I said by the street. Yes, so what kind of a idea of a kind of is likely to be a church. What I say? So looking at the situation, the avalanche of insoria on my Ghana, a door to change to be factories, a door to change to be so you see, but then fundamentally the question remains: is it about duping the people by way of using the word of God to extort money from them? And then it's all about what? It's all about say, at the end of the day, what it is that every person must be accountable with the word. The American what I say. Ubia or your software or do Yankopon asem air no as I says anypan we are accountable to the system. It is not about say we are Yankopon nipa in the say by way of having the Bible no emuasem okay we are now they are extorting nipa. It is a commercialization of the gospel. As many can say, we are left with just days to count and go to the new year. 31st December, Ghana has said, and then Ghana, wow, as some make it cuts across all over Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Kenya. It goes on, and that's the trend. Their maybe country we unko Europe and Kotos say 31st. Obie Kujina, sorry. Africans always believe in one thing there. God has, it's not yet done with them. And see, still we are being indoctrinated with this false doctrine there. It is only until when we get to the chapel or we enter the cathedral, then we lift our hands in high praise and worship, then God will listen to us. But we have forgotten that God is finished with us. Only a before, only a our failure and our inability to exercise the power driven, the knowledge base, and understanding how things work is what has brought us here. Now, baby, away, and I say Dubai way. We know if you read the report, Dubai has taken about 50 years to develop. It developed chrono, it grew baby. A day, it's a baby to say London and even America, developed countries. What it tells you is that somebody sat down somehow with the knowledge base and could think deeper and say, this is what I want to do. And those things, have been able to materialize. Why can't we do the same? Ghana next year, Ebenya saying 65 years into its independence. The question remains, is the 65 actually worth that of our living? The answer is no. Maybe a short journey recently, for Europe, Besi Addis Ababa, and Rwanda. So Rwanda could because looking at the size of Rwanda, with about 13 million population, and the whole land size of Rwanda is the entire landscape of Ashanti region. Udu Airport, Kigali, it's written there. Plastics, plastics. Midru Airport, I could count about 18 commercial flights on the tarmac. There are two equal abutimemu and minim. But then it begs the question, Ghana, as we pride ourselves with the mantra, gateway to Africa, beacon of democracy, golden age of business, Ghana beyond age, all these nonsense that we talk about. The question is, what do we have to show? Our commercial flight, tarmac, so, any other restaurant, you boom up a see, you wolf fufu, you goose and nam the daswa. When we chat,
Yes,
restaurants in Sukregu. Yes, of course, it's true. Restaurants in Sukregu. So who said fundamentally, what does it be so? Who said, dear pan a hat, with these people of color? What is wrong with us? It's always as if there's something wrong. So for an expose. A lot of people think they're not grouping here. If you quite need to say expose,
Carly said the exposés were lies, especially.
Let this call away a first view away. Yes, my offer why he thinks or he or she, I don't know, so I more about. This offer more, better and further particulars. What shows that those exposés were lies? My husband Alfredo says some are to especially Manasseh's own. Meaning the opposite. One, when sometimes you don't know something, ask so that you can have an explanation to it. One, somebody like Manasseh claims, listen to me, Kali, or whatever your name is. Manasseh claims, the word is claim in quotation marks. Say, one asophobia to anamon. Sa anamon no umetu no. Sa anamoni na ewo ensensensobia. E kotia Ghana for TME. That story of Manasseh, that story of demon breaker, that story of Amma born again was not a story of Netu. So therefore, if you were very observant and you were listening, Netu TV issued a disclaimer. If you care to know, these were individuals. They were given the airspace to come and tell their story. Amma, just like you and I are doing right now. They were given the space to tell their story. We couldn't necessarily have owned that story to be that of ours. However, every expose and almost won't be feeding on it. Nevertheless, to say this, all those are software Manasseh, demon breaker, ask me, so I need to know the message in the banner. Ombisa no say, did he hear? Say your first uncle when now from how many of them and omutimi see in the 2TV? By the way, woman to me about what prevented them. Because we're netu and block our doors. We said it to the global world. Yeah, came and so funny about the moment. But obi ama. But one ma does that mean so will be to hide now? I don't know your moon on betting actually. But as so far yen ye nine so yen expose you hobby brave. Everybody know. I think the last person kwa the year in Wedma and ye we kwa. Mafrede Champo. So Moamobe Kaima, Mafrede Champo. Mafrede Champo story a ye. And then your audio recording of Mafrede Champo telling us and then that's already a good. That's only a ton a bay ye can to a ton. We can drop the audio recording to you right away. This is it. Yam be cancer. Yes, yam be cancer no in what software any more keke. The BIA was based on evidence. For example, and still me no can say ama. As of an expose even as I speak, one part of the segment me wa your friend Ghana speaks, including Enra. Even we say video footage is there, Ghana speaks. I be fast off one. We try to question Christians. Watch this footage. No one can say we a Christian. Bisa who say your software or no. And no Yankopon sem and I'm not quite so and I know Yankopon sem bebra. And you see, Ghanaians always want to tell me that they can be lazy and they will be lazy. And that is one fundamental reason why I saw for the because the Ghanaian believes that the source of life, how unworthy he is or she is, and to be able to also hold to future and prospect would be that of to depend on that man of God. And that's where the fundamental cross, a walk. And I mean, my culture Ghana for say, you don't need to do that prayer for you. It's about hard work. And including baby Amuwe. Yan sorry, I near cotton here, here baba, any broscoto, and it's our rubbish, No. It's about God gave us power. He gave us the brain and creativity. Okay, Genesis 1. So he created the world. And after creating the world, the last entity of boy in the air, I want to test your knowledge in religion. The last person boy in the one.
May the last entity I make Eve.
Then
Eve.
Okay, let me help you here. The last entity Onyankopon boy nipa, whether Adam or Eve, it's inconsequential. But what is most important is that God created human beings. One. Number two, when he created human beings, he said unto man, I created you in my own image. One. Number two, I have given you power. Power. Number three, to have the domineering. Four, over the things of what? The earth. Now, Yankopon body to me and the worker said, at the end of the day, Nyatumi ewo nyome na so. Di nyome na so. Abodeni na emwa eni events and no but everything. Now the fundamental question those Ghanaians no monte nyamas na zombi zo mo ne the Europeans are creating. The Europeans are manufacturing. The Europeans are driving. But do you know what? If you do the statistics and quantify the total global resource about 50%, if not more, is located in Africa, with about almost that of say 50% of cobalt, which is a raw material. You manufacture aircraft, you manufacture mobile phones, you manufacture printers, and all accessories. It's located in Congo. Go and check the records.
Now Congo, the only Ghana penny a price. In fact, Congo the Ghana.
Again, cobalt in that channel. There are other raw materials. Make us say the whole global world, baby, except Congo. And I'm just taking Congo out of the total as a subset of the global picture. Now, looking at Congo in that perspective, the question remains: what is the global what is the total mineral deposit in Africa? Just supposing that of the entire European landscape. Africa is much more endowed. Yet, it is one of the most laziest personalities, politicians, and all kinds of people. And again, it is also the continent that is pretty much rich, quote, pretty much rich in their Christian religion. And
maybe just 1 minute. If we are, my member will be a Kweku passport, yeah. Well, how many Ghanaian passports?
One.
If we want a passport, yes, we are sure also one. It is a Kweku expose pastors. Now we feel say politicians, they are corrupt. If we want to expose you more, we need to actually look into Obia role or play in this instead of always calling somebody else to do more than what we are doing. Some make it popular, but it's true. Instead of always telling Amaman saying what I should be doing or Kweku Annan what he should be doing. If you want to expose, what is stopping you from exposing? And then it says will be back open on Kweku passport here back. He's as Ghanaian as you. On what fast of wo ye Kweku me back. My maybe a question. No, be why you're disappointed about education background, because or per se ohunu hawa obi ba be investigative journalist to say what we will wind up to that question in a bit. Finish point no na wo ye na ni emra ho.
Okay, quickly. Nina questions that we here.
Yeah.
Mamemra say panel person. One, education has many umbrellas, trust me. And we all know. And now obi wa me program so I mean interviewing. That person was formerly Deputy Minister for Deputy Minister for Local Government. But do you know what? That person today, only a great background biao, but that person has turned to become one of an agricultural resource person, with me about the whole Nigeria. Man, Nigeria, it me stopping the importation of rice and other food staples. What I want to tell that individual, and I said, do not base your entering into this industry on many shoulders. Or otherwise, which school ben is so. There are so many schools out there. There are so many institutions of higher learning that you have to think of, and then ube rim. But what is fundamentally also a year some catch is there. As I said, apart from the school now, you must have a passion driven to enter this industry, and so say a lifestyle. If you want to enter into investigative journalism and you want to do it like a lifestyle, you fail. So and your lifestyle is a passion driven, and again you must also have a bit of talent into this, so it will help you. Obi Oma okusia sociology, obi kokusia a Bachelor of Arts, and now obi whatever. But many of them have ended into driving themselves into other things. For example, me when I was growing, my parents in Anon is a male lawyer. Why? Because fundamentally, I asked a lot of questions. They didn't know that I would drive myself into journalism. But I could see clearly eventually I was entering into that gallery. So that's about it. Now, if we ask someone no work as to why India may focus so much or primarily on pastors, no. Pastors, at the end of the year, an investigation at ASA, not necessarily that Kweku is focusing on your venison about a software, but maybe in cancer can be actual. The avalanche of and sorry, I work Ghana, TME, if we the avalanche of churches in Ghana, you juxtapose that to the development in Ghana. Then you ask yourself the question, what impact are these churches having on the citizenry? One. Number two, if I do my investigations to know, say, Action Chapel by Duncan Williams, and today I'm going to be specific here. If I sorry to say, Action Chapel, and I don't really want to be bothered. We are a member of this church, and in any case, I'm doing my job. If Action Chapel by Duncan Williams, if your way, was known to be that of a warehouse or an industrial zone. And that whole place is now converted into a church. My question is, how many people would be in Action Chapel today? Nail. Or would be praying, asking God for a work to do. And that place could also have been used for a Juma. Nipo mo page man, wombeti makoye Juma. Ebiom, Oba, kwa Venetine, Ajenasari, Perusdom, Paris Dom, a warehouse, Anna Caneno, food processing company for warehouse, no. And they are, sorry. And nobody was saying number was answer no more. Nanti wombeti nyako that same place when it used to be an industrial purposes. Anon benye Jumaye. Bra, Kwantiankra, that's Royal House. How many of you do know? Says I saw maybe your one of our premises one. Ne and also ne a warehouse a Jumakubidia. Bra, Darky Wardmus, Bishop Darky Wardmus. Baby, oh yeah, so is the CNA drawers and Kodeshna. People saying a munim say Hosana a warehouse. And they are sorry. There may be some now and say, Sir, are sorry, so I ye. The benefit of the church goes against what? What impact Ben and as I saw make on the state? Except to tell you, sir, at the close of the service, collection of your and national corporate name. Collection of Mogiano is not going into the consolidated fund, it is going into somebody's pocket. That's one. Number two, Sikana Yajiano, church members no more on the crown, and ko be able to. Rather, they are contributing to that church. And here we are, on not our bishop, on not a fundamentalist, about my account to move. On
the business.
Of course. And to the members Ghana who wants to say, try to look at the bigger picture. Say, we are doing a nation building. The private sector is part of the embodiment of the building. Now, if the church, which comes under the scope of non-profit organization, yes, the church is able to mobilize millions and billions at the close of the year. That's Sikano. Almost sign just for tax. Tax in them. Say Sikan now, but our software, ne private account. Now, look at another aspect here, and it's very intriguing. And that's our software now, Mabubo Mudin. They have developed a smart way of what we call the succession plan. In other words, to say, it's a Uko Registrar General. Sir, and sorry, na dear, oh, no. Your Maya say, I feel one more year, no, and one my back is usually way, never bema, I would him, and now so bad, not the nabbe shame, not nabbe to a sorry board, and so none even so that board, and so. What it means is that, and that's also when you knew you want, automatically, no. Either Neyiri and Anebano should take over the church. What they are telling you and I, they say they are doing strictly business. It's a smart way of criminalizing, a smart way of commercializing the gospel. I mean, yes, sure, sir. Who you'll be a student of theology, basically you should understand this. Where in the Bible, and when you if we may say our scripture, we go and read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 9. I don't want to tell you what is there. Ephesians 5, 9. Yankupon ma yena nimdie. Say yemfenya die. But the one who said the obey dia. At the end of the baby a unfemfa. A bin ti a jumana ye nasie. A bit said by going to focus on our software. A way of say, who say sorry, and I said, you want to calm down. Baby, not as I said, it's like an antichrist. No, fundamentally, I can understand their mental faculty, and sometimes I don't want to waste time. It is just a matter of time. And I'm moving who said, the church, and again, I'm a maminka with someone he has said, who could read it? Now we research deep into history. Now we are students of eschatology, and now a student of what do you call it? I'll get the name for you. You know, Ubetimi appreciate it. They are making very well. So one by yes, our students and they won't hear here. They're making what there. You must be in a certain realm in order to understand what even brought about religion, and for that matter, Christianity. Christianity, for all we know, rode to the corridors of Africa 15 centuries ago with their sea safari, came, presented the Bible to us. Beneath the Bible was the gun. Fundamentally, a history. You don't even need to be a first-class student to understand it. Our university said Christianity, the source of it, all came as a special purpose vehicle to enslave the African, and they succeeded. After succeeding, and they left 1837 or whatever they left. Black people have not gained their consciousness in being unworthiness. It is what has brought us to this point. At the end of the day, do not deceive yourself to understand that God is done with us. And now, so far, we are much closer to God. We are already God's image. We are part of God's creativity. And He created us as that of what He is. What do you need to change yourself to become who you are not? As so funny changing narrative. 31st way, we know my dear back on there. Hey, I cut the last hour. I need 10 people to come. 10 people to come for special blessings. Listen to me, what would you mean? I need 10 people to come for special hour. Come, 1,000 Ghana cedis for special blessings. If you want to be blessed in 2022, and if you want to go higher, succeed in your marriage, succeed in your business, succeed in your endeavors, 1,000 Ghana cedis for special blessings. I am waiting for you. Ghana for best sorry to Ghana source of money. But what would
you know why, Kweku? Maybe you know why, me uncle. I say, Mashada and Mama Kweku, because I'm a person the rationale behind what he's doing. I'm trying to get you to understand the man, and then I want you to meet the man behind the persona. That's what I'm actually trying to do. It's Kweku Kasa. Obi say, Ama, why are you so unusually quiet? Because me person Kweku representing the home. Me person muhunu the oye. Me person what chile mumu. But the enka same way wa. Me wa hey 31st night. Be a Christian. For sure. But me too many can't call baby and last hour blessings. Because me want to make kind Bible no I say me mwame nti ho no me ye ho adwuma. Ghana no ye mpese ye boa ye ho. Ye pese mana ebegu ye num. Ye mpa adwuma. Ye pese ye be shop na shop near successful abra ye da ye dem. Ye mpa modern mo. Ye mpa bra adwuma bi. Eti say ye nyina ye mpanku bi a ye besra a ye sra wi a ye nya adwuma. Ye perfume bi a ye behwehwea na ebe solve yen. We don't want to work on our marriages. We just want love to come automatically. We don't want to work on our businesses. Work is too hard, but we want success. These are all societal behaviors ayewo. And yes, also for nehu or exploit it. And yen nem tete no. Malam no friends say a draw ran one what team would have comfort. Wo kwana send the condo akoko na ma or say kofa akoko fita ba akobra. Faba yire ka ho timbako ka ho enya ne yire nkwan na no wo ma ho recipe did that na microphone starting people see where there are weaknesses in systems and they exploit it and as of for year it is say Kweku we say we expose ya so for no but behavior no problem no as of for no exploiting it that's all and we ending
yeah ama may drive up the points and you came in it's about say science me are making 31st day I'm making I will be saucy. Will be unconscious. Somebody should disprove this. But then the fundamental question remains: am I lying or it is true? Now again, also for now offer a nipa 10 munga for special blessings. Is this true or it is a lie? It's a clear lie. And I challenge anybody, come and debate me. Again, special blessings. Now what am I doing? The year no over big or this so-called blessing the year will start January up to back to the same December bill. Nasa blessings to call the man in what you have to know is that God has made a certain provision for you already. All that you need to do is to walk into that blessing, one, as in your physical as a human being. Because they are so way they try to create our environment into the spiritual world. But again, don't get it twisted. We have the spiritual world and we have the physical world. Why do you think there's also for it must be done in the spirit? So then I'm walking. Juma and uncle see ya. Warren and uncle see ya. School now uncle see ya. A business deal being uncle as a human being with a lot of wisdom. Sit to do what you call introspection. Besiege yourself. Na shete aware no beme obai ehe ena we at fault because you are a human being. Business no enti na anko ye because our product no are obsolete and also say our product no market no, there's no demand and answer saying me now making ubenya answers for it, and then you sit to program yourself back and move into the new year. Na shete onyankopon fa say insha man. What people should understand is that ye Christopher way adeɛ tia onyankopɔn to nsuo eme ye nya ye bi wɔn mo nye Christopher na ɔmo ye Muslimi fo a na ɔmo ye sei wɔn nso ɔmo ye den wɔn nso onyankopɔn to nsuo a ɔmo nya bi ade nti na onyankopɔn yɛ sa. What it says is that God is not biased. God is the God of all. Eno da nten ya onyankopɔn so anka nkyerɛ so mo mra mesi asɔre, and I can prove this one also in where friend is saying Acts chapter 1 verse 8. Also, when the Holy Spirit will come upon you, ye shall be witnesses unto me in Judea, in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the world. What it means basically, God didn't tell you come and create a church. Oh, here was already I say. Also, Korea, Yanko Viasi, Nayanko Kanasem. No one be Jadin, young shower, Nayanko a baby. One can't just go see cathedral. One can't just go see synagogue, and one can't just go see a temple. No. So says he cannot do you think God in his own infinite creator is interested in your money? How much do you think you can give it to God? Emma Asonia Kupon, the answer is no. These charlatans, these cricky, cranky, silly, liars, charlatans are feeding on your ignorance. They are feeding on your weakness. They are feeding in your inability to understand why the Bible was written the way it was written. And on the exploit too. What's the one here? But Uber sorry do see kana ko unfankono. Bisa who say also for no this kind of bed or the common yankopon or the fan ya common yankopon. And no deko. And the baby are some more catcher more Ghana for there. Oh, Ubu must say, and God spoke to me. Or no Casada. Nania Obi to say your friends, what's his name? Kwanchanka. He came out shamefully enough to tell Ghanaians that God has spoken. No, or say Obi any nakasa na say any pano or no catch there or no Kwanchanka say Yankopon say on Kanjan is there. The next president of Ghana, Eda Osho Ononano. Ebiom or say Yankopon say on Kanjan is there. On a voice, very authentic in heaven. Now let me zero down here. The question maybe says so for including one more line is a be a software editor. Sarkasa no mokana and Yankopon name Yakasa. Okay. Adentina Kwanchanka on country Yankopon direct almost go for their money nano. We hear car, we hear crew, we hear Juma, we hear visa, we hear say God. Give it to all of them, and by the time Obekas asked me, when Yankopon you need area, then to be a code with it. I don't know yes, sir. Is God's ears feared to listen? Is God far from resolving those problems? Is God not answerable to all these things? Ama, the question comes clear with the answer. Say, they are there to exploit you, and that is the end of game. Because when Yankopon say, so to me, Yankopon say you'll be asked them. I don't know yet. They just want to keep you in the perpetual bondage, and they can exploit you much. Okay, they can exploit you much. And it's a way nipa. Ah, Yankopon boy, ye woo, bosoming crown. That's the one to mean crossing the dizu a day way who said they have exploited us for far too long. It takes a lot of people with courage to speak the way Kweku Annan make us out. Because at the end of the day, one should hear pressure on the bow, so no one can say won't mean. But for me, my mistake a cut across. I have told these so-called big men of God. And I'm saying here, Duncan Williams, Kwanchanka, Adinasari, Otabel, Venice, they are bunch of crooks. And I've also given them invitation. Men can't just me can make me say bra. Bra for 3 questions per so me know to me questions nanwa. Your followers will hail you up. But when to me in Yanwa, while they will say yes. you have exploited and commercialized the gospel for far too long, and they must be made to stop. Approaching now your way, where do you see churches all around? What is the meaning of the head Ghana? Oh, here for that any atmosphere Ghana food every day. But a Ghana for someone who was what says he can or better no they are saw them on their come out suffer. Obey you by close of day not on your result here. Into the members of Metachom is there. Christianity, which was a special purpose vehicle brought by the Europeans, was a tool used we use it at the same time at the maximize a lot of potential. No more than the enslaving. The bottom line is way Kweku Annan na member whole lectures will be any Christianity no the ban. Woman be enslaving African. In exchange of name baby, a one at the eku any slow and then unworthiness in the brain. One more call and a pet bibini who said or ya debe obunu ho abomfia bibini who said no one take. Because a idea when they say who could read the history of Leonard Bonaparte of Belgium in 1883. Check it, idea or they command the people of Congo. No man the Congolese who said, to say Sebi and Wow. Meanwhile, no young in Shaka here at the Amad the Congolese. Yeah, so Omuntu San no Bayeno. But because Leonard Bonaparte not one more per se, one more enslaved woman, one more the Christianity they call. So they went there as missionaries. Now, me as a student of security and intelligence, I will tell you what. Most of the Europeans are one more by African in they use Christianity as a special purpose vehicle as a spy. Some of the Western intelligence agencies like the CIA, most often when they are going into a Krobi, not a crony a virgin territory, no more person and they go in as spies. I don't know what they call as spies. A be tools maybe no say when we are evangelists and also when we are missionaries. When we are missionaries, because when we are African, a day back when so by a boy at a religion. Religion bends a Christianity. The moment a Christianity be beneath who was so in hell. About say be beneath person or pray all the time. No then oko osra himemu. In today there are some who catch and say as of one say mamu ma yem pray ye asasi so japade na mum ye hwehwe ye nkwaje no na ni na na e wo so. Mon kan say as of one kasa. But the question mum is say as of no we akohwe mu fie. There na e wo ho. Asofo have tend to become covetousness. Covetousness say aho pefo enu numnyam pefo. They become lovers of money. And then sika enti womu ji sika no womu de esisi edan akese. Womu gigi sika we e de esisi de ben a edan akese bibia toto fleet of cars, private aircraft me ade no ma dem. Swimming pool woni fie no oginene. Wo so beba so na bejo aye here baba ene tons akese bia womu kaka paita konedi iko braka ko no ma keka ni na wo so we nyana uko kenkan ama mame some quotation go and read Matthew 24:24. This foolishness must stop. This scam must stop. This criminalizing the gospel must stop. What you have to know, and they said, answer na broni or the Christosum ebeba Africa 15 centuries ago. No? Our great grandfathers and forefathers knew God. Tell me I'm lying. They knew God. Obianko bisa ne grandmother non kanjiro. Ye ma minim ye papa no munim said ye sum onyankopon. Enye sa no a broni beba no na bibini nim said obeden obebo onyankopon din. Tell me why ba no say ne hu za. Enti mind you, enye broni e na ode nyankopon sum de bra yen. No. Ebi omumi sam ho Bible no broni troye no. I think that the whole entire Bible story no was written on the shoulders of white Caucasians. Where are the people of color? Why were we not featured in the Bible? And where were we? So Nyankopon bonipani now one day, and the one both white Caucasians this day and black people of color this day. The question is, where were black people when Jesus Christ by ya on nam oil and missionary work na maybe before near way. Why were we not featured in the Bible? Maybe some sent here the Pope needs in the Vatican now all the time. Awesome Black Madonna. Who is Black Madonna? Go and research. If the ama as someone yes here the near your money yes no. Kwanya womode onyankopon asem. Adiaye enada enkontompo sam ne nabrabasam ne krono. As I see a poem one time. Na Ghana ni bia na conscious I see it no wo te sa ne na say me ye reduce asori ni movement no ni na ye edwumaden Ghana be ye year enye ye on the shoulders of magic. No. Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Dubai. It's like what the Bible said, so shall I build a new Jerusalem. And your magic is about hard work and it's about understanding how things work.
Kweku meba, obi abisa me question bi hanti ma mento ma or say. Asofo no, me this is one of the things I always say. Here, onipa bi adidi ne nyansa ho. The Obia will trim. I don't know the over skills I want to do. Me, I must say, me, me, a tuni puffle. Oba, me juiska, me did him. Also for to me a kind Bible, no. Oba, no, so I take a cran where did he home. Yan an apple would a baby, or no so pa, no actual on a jane where did he home. Obia did in dear home. Now, question now will be south saying they say. The answer for years they say, no, woman did one with dear honor. And they are conforming to whom would have say, I conform to don't have free wood. I'm bet not the razzle floor, so no so practice and so.
Great. So more expose in a year and one. There was intertwined in the sense that Dubai is very religious and truthful. What about Ghana? Okay. The issue is when we are religious in what thing? They are Muslim religion, they respect the Islamic religion. Okay? They believe in that religion, fair, is their source of life and is their spiritual livelihood. Now, my question will be there. It's about there. To see Kaneno na a conform no mugu kwayim, no mugu vidim. Now a conform no any asofona bridge up say. Yes. Now, Montan says as of we be brave. A conform be brave or moka. Remember was remember be to me boss on Namedia. The internet is better. Yes. Reason why I made me to be assembly to chairman. Now, if the name Jesus Christ, Ghana ni and be assembly. And as someone make it, don't get it twisted. And don't tell me the mini and coupondi. But beside the creativity of this effigy called Jesus Christ was done by the white man. Yes. I didn't see and will create Jesus Christ who looks like him, not like you and I. And here one question. Two, Omode Bonsam Subetcheno. Bonsam looks like you and I. Bonsam looks, I'm adding our sister.
Madam, this is about with TV, so I'm exposing me.
Okay. So, who's there? Who share, can I say, who share fundamentals and a phenomenon here? Omuma Jesus Christ, to say one more. A white man with a blonde hair, with blue eyes and a nice face. And Omuma Satan, to say, Yang, Utia, Bia, and what baby. Now, I'm out there and what it means is that the name Jesus now, Umukretiano, question say because the to me bang and there was a dinim. Yankopon say yo, Yankopon. But I want to tell you, Jesus Christ now Brunini created the brem and no me no. Our mu design and to me bang there was a dinim. Now, it is so easy and common for that as of we so be kwa kofa ni ntini abet transfer them ho. Na odi to me bia enfri onyankopon no de abehye ho. Meaning say there is no power in that name Jesus no bronini de bra no. Yes. Say to me wo mu a ento di ntini no de behye ho. Na at the same time osofo no so gina side dro no so na oye miracle Now, oh, but in the name of Jesus, I command you rise up. In the name of Jesus, I command you rise up. Now, so your name is and Jesus to me
now when him say
spirit.
interestingly enough, and yes, Jesus no more count, and then they be a meka in
Great.
Jesus' name, and nipa do one woman tell us woman tea.
Mo
Edin wa wamo bono. Aya wuti ni aya mumu do na mo ka say slangs, and yes slangs so. Edin no aya wamo bono. In fact, I saw for one work can be a homo bodin. And do one fan tell, ade a womo ye quite open. Dear woman body, woman body, dear woman body, and woman body. I think that in these stories, you know, there are many distinct facets. Ya one crofwa, woman jiji near my division and near mechi, woman wo. Ya one crofwa, woman nipa, woman wo. But meno, for me, the commonality is say the kind of person they are able to exploit is the lazy one. Dear one page mayo. Dear one pay success, abra wo invest here. Dear what person would done them none shop successful. Or near you may be ayo and so no ride V8, V10, V12. Say ni panel, and I say any upon 4 bar will be young. In fact, women's diamond bar will be young. Hey, you could unkunya bar will be young because all these things exploit and feed on Sasubainoa year one. Now, investigation no be earlier or say investigation is just exposing the symptoms. What about the cause? And we are any solutions? No.
Very good question, Amma. You know, during time of our investigations and exposing at the same time, one, everybody must understand the fundamental. And I say, as a broadcasting organization and as an investigative agency, our job is to find why this is this is that. 2, we have to expose our findings. 3, a part of institutions being so eduma to pick the findings, act on the findings, and then we can get solutions. But you see, at a point, some people wanted Kweku to be like an examiner, at the same time a student, and at the same time I have to give myself a mark, like a match commissioner, a linesman, a referee, a player, one person in one package. You see, after we have exposed institutions will be a even if it will lead up to closing some of these charges or otherwise set a certain regulatory systems that will regulate all these charges. Now, and tell you, Ama, and I'm a report to you on the show. So, Registrar General, I am Mrs. Mama Owari, or the report to be the truth, just say about 3,000 charges here in Ghana, Greater Accra and Guam, have refused to pay their tax, to file their annual tax returns. What it means is that it's also about institutions. The woman went further to say failure on their part to do what is right, to crack down and close down these charges. For me, that is a very prompt action. Ebiom Oko baby to say Rwanda. Paul Kagame had a decree. So-called or software now say to yourself until what is a first degree in theology and you have waiting our operating in the chair. But once a Ghana, I a free space. Obia ye di ope. Obia ye di ope. At the end of the day, no, Obi said asking baby, okay, baby. I'm a questions in the help vitamin. I'm trying to also.
Oh, maybe so. We shut down. I do 2 screens, so just to document.
Yeah. Asking if they expose, report them to the police. So at the end of the day, we are. Some institutions, we are expecting them to also do what is right. For example, and sorry, Bonia, your Ministry of the Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. This ministry was created to have and thereby oversight responsibility over religious bodies in Ghana. So do not expect me my expose we are. Me akuyas means anko emfa and sikani kotiba and saw them was of that. No, and you're right. The Ministry of Religious Affairs to set regulations, to set a certain measure So no, per this expose, media houses ready bay. A quiet say they are soft when this self-style men of God. You do more fashion. 1, 2, 3. Now so man, yeah. Maybe the answer, I still have an opportunity here. Institutional my next target is the ordinary Ghanaian. Is for me to bring this expose and these findings much closer to the Ghanaian. Listen to it, read it, observe it, and then Uriah, you have the opportunity to either make a decision not to go to such charges. But for Ghanaians to say, you better, ama, a choice. But I can also tell you, here in Ghana, Ubia or Shem no what Ghana Bekacho was so that from one. I can tell you it's a significant number of Ghanaians today. A huge awakening. Oma very well awakened. Can you know somebody when you have to form one and then what I say? Even Obin Limone or Pam Bonamne Kweku Boffin Mate said and say, when yes, our handkerchiefs name Apple in your manner openly displaying or motor. Some we need the farmers and in so at it. A perform dramatically. What it means is that what we did has made some result, has made some giant steps. So, institutions in the to that extent of expectation. The ordinary Ghanaian, I mean, this uncommon. You have a choice, and the choice
that
now
has brought a smile to my face. It brought a smile to my face. Me say that statement and has brought a smile to my face because you've hit two big ones right there. Me say on my page and comfort Anna, wouldn't you advise the politician? I'm like, under what auspices? Why they see me? Kweku say one or ye expose in one government agency ne pa and one more active on, one more pa, or more active on. Kweku won't mean much to the government agency. However, one hour would the one share the move such places in Libino. Would ye be our casa was from Betiniate? Now, in fact, a drew baby no casa now will brena maybe bring ye started see class action could actually also prompt responses from government agencies because we've seen it happen. Facebook, hey, social media, hey, you raise it, hashtag be na microphone gusua because abina who is microphone any nipa kasa ho asem no ube who is microphone respond. And yes, sometimes individuals and small groups, the best we can do and they say ye newo ebekasa. Kweku obi sending me another one on the side. The pakrani see me miss I say, is it just controversy the year with day? And I say a limelight in the year with day. And I say, dear Ankasa body top of my dear Napeso or mission Ankasa mandate Ankasa they say. Summarize it for us.
What's your question? I one, the limelight is out. Ebiom senipani will be or follow me per year, including MZ Jama weekend me grant interview station be Israel, and I said this. My program, I've said that I don't need thousands to glue round their set to listen to what I do at Net2 television. No. Assembly de be American say. Se me ye de ameye no. Na ama enipa mienu miensa ena ehwe and can just understand the American. No, my assembly for what it basically means is that the heavens rejoice. The Bible also says something to us to say, Onyankopon ompe or the say for me wumashe. So we must all the time help to change life. We must be a change we wish to see in our various lives. So my passion driven of what I do is not basically about wanting to be in the limelight because to be in the limelight or to be a fame or whatever, the end game of being in the fame means what? A common bedi war. But ubeye jumano wenya wanwedi and yedi. Na dia woye no so no be affect society, so it becomes a better place for all of us to live. For me, it's the ultimate. So I believe that we are all here answerable to what we do, for which God also knows that a task. As our task, you can be a banker, you can be a politician, you can be a mason, a carpenter, you can be a journalist, you can be a driver. We all fundamentally have to drive society to its destination. Na akoye as some Amaka may define Christianity. Christianity is not all about picking the Bible and just go to the Bible and preach the word of God. No. There be ama wo yes is here Nyankopon adwuma. Nyankopon adwuma. Bibia obeye mehu se obi the alligator the naba. Yes, you ever how. Now so I very interesting pao. Ama very very interesting. What was ama crowd when you current to?
I'm telling you.
Yeah. You ever how me the pass when the buy is that Van Damme, why are they power? Me yano. And what say?
Me say troublemakers Libya.
Exactly. And I'm a very serious issue. Me no can say Ochina Wednesday. And I may be a serious program on this alligator issue. Quickly, mommy move to this alligator issue. I'm a day link in the bro before you be show. Yo, Abraham me Kweku Annan me tine two a make such a Ghana for say. Ghana way plus me akasa me count. Wo me hwe ye was I asofo hu. We sorry a me hu we sorry a me hu say. Hwe me te wan say sometime Friday. Me nya information be say maami bi group bi o mo create. That group no mo create no. Ama wo mo de akwakoto a o mu didi o mo hu nkomo. E na sa self-star prophetess we maami we. O de beto platform no say me Kweku mi ye opete che say I me opete o empete na ehene ene me I'm just serious what enti empete na ehene ene me Kweku a me ti ha odo no enti che say wo hwe Kweku a me si ha ya opete pa che say wo hwe opete nzo a said your pete ekon ho tie wo mu kon ho ntin enum ne ade me ko mi hu ntin bi ani ho but e reise me ye opete sa pete no media me ya na say e radio oh mention yes serious what enti pete no a me ye no me de sa pete suban no ani sunsum no me de ha me amenia Kwame Japan. I thought better all kind of. Enti.
When you pete no as they say, we have compreko no.
What say?
When you pete no, Mati say so we have what compreko de wa.
Enti I mean you say me pete no me ha honorable Kwame Japan. Enti opeta me no say me ko na me ba na me ha no. Enti opese o kire say me nua be ma no ontiapo kwan bi so na ontiapo no so no eye me na me shechi na me yes adewe okay fa we si ha na hwe ade wa ama okoka sansem na wo platform no so de kire obi no office pegu obi aso by through audio and on the coil owie no ena wo de se we abeti link ena o ma onabo kwa me Japan akwankire se onkonkofa alligator pepper yi ma sen you senso se numu I don't know na onfanya akwankire na ode ya akwankire wi a first time oba betia me want to be in front to be in front left and right na onye de obeye hu Ghana ni tie mi ye se asofo na expose am ye na an ko wasun ana wante na wanye ni a afi example kese na aba beto ho a na obia ehwe bie no na hade ma mi ka sansem we di tro obi di audio ne ka ho se fa audio no koma onabo kwa me Japan say opete Kweku Annan when the dane me opete no yese ma mi agrada e na adane me empete ehene a me na mete aha empete ehene a me ne empete e na edi agro ye ko na ye ba can you imagine such a serious allegation ye de alligator pepper e be ye me ho aduma John enti opete o enye joke sa o abo we yetumi dini susu nipa ma na yeye the only time I me pay pete asem and say men na fufu mienu bi Kweku ko ye ade bi Kweku enti omu ko Kweku na ama fufu die ya okodi fufu enam bi da so wate nam na tia o te ente efi no mo hwe enam ni ye no mo so kane ato so a o se Kweku wote nam na ente ati o mo hwe observation hwe I say nam no den or share not to say pete sre and then that's fufu so nam say so ben and fufu din in nam di that's the only time I'm at pete one story and then opete nankasa me ankasa Mr. Opete. Can you imagine this? Okay, see, I'm a nina kanfuano and I'm a me can't answer me now at the chair one. Here comes that I pick a copy of this audio. The TNI now we and Ama said yesterday I did DNA, and at the same time, Ama na a serious issue said dear mommy working so audio recording way by a company could do million anymore. Ama assembly be here TNI said yes self star a software way prophet if we binum any prophet as you make one American theory. Assembly assemble then ekosia ebiom nipa no nso bebre atesa ampa oh wakọ baby wa wakọ ne checkups bi ni ade nti ene one story on one line ebiom honorable Kwame Japan ebeti sa asem we no de be kwadwindwim ana 77 previous say be front no amfa kwadwindwim a enti me bei say na Kweku ote ha oye na edwuma na oye ne nioma fa na okay so be hwehwem so hwehwem yo betimi aka ne say Kweku mintimi ne onwa adwuma bi free hako Ama is just a matter of time. A matter of time, and if you're being adrian say, or pursue who ne crepa what's asking. If you're back home, no, be say no. As someone, my many de brand, you know, a abosrimukau and a nipana cartoon, nebanoso. And you wash him won't say, ne crebi Ama, by the time I'm a crebi team to make me cool. But then, my image, my credibility, my credibility has been soiled. All on grounds of their spirituality. It was a prophetess way. The Obekano and the Crano or the Sunfina Tinna and the Crana Beju Yanko Yamu. Now, Sunipa was an ombe who said, "You're can and the crown on Yanko." I'm investigation I so far. Say, some are meno any non politicians will brace me, Bobby didn't you'll be shocked. Oh, this are spirit in your pretty our politicians. So, Mebwam where we need, Mebwam why you say, and all kinds of things. And you see, we live in a country people believe in this spiritual drive.
And then I back it's because we believe in it.
Exactly. It's in a bombardier minyanwa. Minyanwa, I'm a menini din common. I'm the gun of war motion nine say, my many feed you a babon thing. Kweku yo pete, there be unya opete. Kweku and pete hine no, there be unya pete hine. Within pete and egro or see Davy. Eba ni say na ma me uka sa asem we oso na I say me die na me so die na me call trans na me call hinu fa ha na sin ha na kwa asi akeka nko a ni na ebe we say sa asem na okan ni na no onim de wo kakra efi me ne mu ka say esu ene e cheopa ene e da fom ba sa na se se e tene wi ase ana se obi ti ne da bi Kweku mi ti hoi se mi ti hoi o na wo se me peteche e wo mi ti so pete so ti o ni ti una minim se mi ti aye kokwakwai e no hwe no de pete eto so I don't know my dream ba ko a sisi a me de ko new year ni mu no so o hwe mi ti ho a se de aye je se esem pete de o se de an yo o pete so na no ye different na mean see different enem ni ade oh edi ama ni na ko we se Nina Korea said, they know. So, what to Kweku pete? Na pete out there to me no. Nipa saying, and a beji, they know more in them. Exactly. Yeah. Should we allow this religious dogmatism? I call it religious dogmatism. Should we allow it to thrive all through our lives without allowing consciousness to prevail? Wisdom, intelligence, ebe prevail. How many? And your name says, "San you may amomuye." What would they say? Ebusue bebre. What would they say? Families bebre. What would they go away bebre? What would they say? Kofedro bebre. No, I found ready. Now I bet to Kweku opete. That's it. All some bet to me pete. Or bet to me your denchem. Sa that's ja and so me your sebo. Not of the nam not the quarter.
Opete noir.
Yes, sir. Ah, Chester Sabre, Yamian Pata, ye de pete, ever to me, di what through pete, ever. Again. saying, why? They say I saw that didn't go Peter Kweku one. That be na say Jamie be the president be an ambe epinibia. Yeah, trono you say aka Opete na eda ho. Eka saying aka Opete and aka Pete Kweku Pete. Hey, serious, Mama. And then, mommy, what didn't giddy? What quiet baby afa? Ama, I mean, you're busy with a question.
My question is, but many say, oh, interesting. Sir, I didn't see another factor in here, see discuss. Me minimobia. In fact, no, when you're dreaming, yari. Oh, now, minimum panel, and I acquire software. But I punch, I was starting to what they may mano. Said enough, the aquanchirene kono. Me I mean how erratic na akwanchire ko na me catch the nipa no a wo be me say nipa me nya sure say we okay o because akwanchire meaning say nyame ya akwanchire de but challenge baby ade ne ko na say mental illness kakra me kai nipa kro na no and hu na ni so and die Kweku the next year yeti na nipa no wo pantan no ama nkrofo adi niema tafre niema hwehwa niema ho na ni hu. We stop thinking when we come in this real. Mama baso mu ni pakra me ni di nkomo na Kweku Annan net 2 Kweku Annan aka Kweku Pete baako pe. Ono na me. Me ni di nkomo.
And Pete.
Senya na. Ekebia na win him sa website address no. I want you to meet the person. I know say aya mu hunu no ono ni show no so. But Kweku no show no so Kweku ye nejuma. It is actually in a performance mode. He is in persona. He's working. He's acting. But today, I actually want you to meet the man. Meaning, you brought all the next 2 questions here. More per se, mubisa, more per se, follow, more per se, free BNI. You are entitled to do them. Men so me per se utie onipano. I want you to hear the man behind the enigma no ye mu bi ye creating ebi ma dane ne petenyina ebi no ma dane no all sorts of things Kweku nti say symptomatic question now obi bisa and I still want to explore or say we are banging on about the problem. A lot of us know the problem. Nti solution no ye de na afa nti say let's start moving towards solution orientation ye expose ni nyina ye de ko solution no fixing your direction anything.
Great, Amma. I think that it's a phenomenon. It would take a time to break the ice, but however the ice is difficult to crack, it would take a lot of effort. The effort would also not come from the shoulders of Kweku Annan alone. It's an embodiment. Okay. We must all be encompassed. So again, Kweku should not be the only person with the spectacle of seeing or the cleverness, no, or their intelligence. We must all deduce spiritually, physically, to understand that this individual, so your software, now esoterics, that's what I wanted to tell you earlier. If you're a student of esoterics or eschatology, of which Kweku, I'm well vested in those areas. What I learned in esoterics, which is the studies of the highest order in religion, God gave something to man, and that thing is what we call intuitive memory. Nevertheless, would have the white man be able to create what we call computer, which does so many things. All of them were extracted from the brain. Now, utumi drew baby, na ube drew hono. Na was spirit to cry to me no kasa say no baby will be dream. This is not the right place. You can see clear and no, your spirit is not connected. There's a resistive force telling you that no, papa we are wabani asine chon baby a wujine and sem fata. Enti nyankopon ne kasa in our own ways though.
Yeah.
Only en kasa say bia ama woni me kasa and as say baby aso for the best of me imply no. He speaks to us in many forms of science and other elements, in elemental form. Enti ye betumi etu omase yentumi ntu omase no. E about say yate asem no. Enya about say wo ba be fighting wo ama program so. and I nya about so the be show trimuze oh Kweku Annan de ntronko an wodi me maka ewie no fa me de no so kɔ adwendwen mu na kɔkɔ sohwɛ na feto to ho say the abranti akan boy wo kan the kra na won kan the kra na wa so because now we have a discerning so enti as I see a tia say solution no ekuta now it is not only in the hands of Kweku I'm against you ekuta menhua o ekuta enipa bebree all of us we must all be encompassed to draw the solution na no say basa we ayawaha we ayawaha we yawaha we will say collective you bet get it closer and if you bet do baby we will say as of when say as if now we want to stay a while longer with our software exposing we will say and suddenly they will lose that force that preponderance so because it's a certain form of preponderance they drive it's here and then we see Messi cathedral we see Messi synagogue we see Messi temple ama ni na no enye the temple of God share competition omoko competition goes with why and what drive the largest congregation that no yankopon hwehwe ana no zono wonba ye say womu do yankopon but womu no womu ye mpateku the Bible say to us also so they come like in cheap clothes but in them are wolves and moment just and a mama scripture Matthew 24:24 beyond kind of schedule yankopon catch them no about these people enti yentia say yankasa na yeto ama yankopon ma yetumi o but you know what black people ain't me maximize that power too yentumi soon digest power and say in fact in order to even discover say who are we because ama technology am no me no kasa also so all the way the distance from baby am one baby die ntina metumi no kasa akwanfin kakra bi na watemenka die be am e you be adwen no de ye
yeah
so what is making us not to get this done ebiom yembi say ho say ya bompaye na bwa for how many years and centuries the better solution beba so solution in Maya I am asking these questions is God's ears pierced is it because God is not listening is it because he's not an answerable God is it because he cannot identify us or is it even about say the prayers are not even getting up to wherever he
all these things are not even the case only what is an answer to your question nyame wo hoyi oye otonsu na dwuma wo ye ni so otonsu you mentioned it earlier and that's a very important point for me nyame na dwuma and it say otonsu nyame tonsu na se wo wafu a wo no baye defefe no anya so mfaso nyame tonsu na woni dai demu a ebebro it will expose you nyame tonsu na se wa block water e wo ba bia wo tia ensuo ni beyiri na abefa the water serves various purposes the ensuo ni is actually up to you to determine ensuo ni betimi agu wafuo so e betimi ayire bu afa woni ema so e betimi abro amo aye mobo ni nyina ye suko ma eye wo said ye wo position wo ho and e bema ensuo no eso aba wo mfaso ana ensuo no aye wase your problem ni nyina problem ni instead say Ghana ni beto bekwa kodo afuo no wafre nyame se won tonsuo no ye gina your friend say kwaye ni mfimfini yete awrade nsuo de bia awrade hira ye de bia wo tonsuo but mfaso bia ni so because we ni hia ebe fefe we ni mfaso bia wo kra wo te go ta block ho nti nsuo no ta be yira fa and it's interesting these conversations these are actually problems that are intertwined into the very fabric of your culture. And so any attempt to dissociate or unpick behavior, you will find resistance. May you assure say we're bad and you will start you've experienced some of the resistance. My feel of what we have done in response to the way you're uncomfortable with me. Apart from CFO OPT1.
Ama, I'm gonna shock you at this. No, you ain't gonna laugh. Yes. Yes. If I tell you, say, I have been attacked spiritually and physically, and you will not believe it. Yes. Well, Nevertheless, but Namamenka, some of them that also may not be worthy of listening. But I have a huge story and say, there is what we say is there. There's an adverse consequence and you must be responsible for it. In as much as that you try to expose the undercover world or the undercover trade, also will be friend makers in Kweku. Do you know what? Come to the office. Now me koya ye di nkomo na small can say. Obisi me den CSF member. Any den CS member.
Common Sense Family Avram Be Mosheni Association.
No. Oh, Debbie, me part of that group. I'm sorry. No. I'm a different being altogether. I'm not part of it. Obviously, one who is Kweku Annan. Yeah, can you Ama, the issue is that to say the ye be an ama responsible for and you must hold yourself for anything. So me catch all say Kweku Amete, I have been shot spiritually. Would you believe that?
Hey, let's say yes, spiritually it's me born to you.
No, my cousins much obey dear fine when you but it's real.
I brody.
Sure. Say obi catch all say ya bo hu mutia say utimi mu say real. What they are there. Yes. There has been several, of course, make a way no ma obi so ni mo obi nsusu say Kweku expose you so for not just invariably Kweku enye nyankopon nyiminya nyamesumni. No, please. But the way omo ye no and I'm saying yes and yes here because ye na ye sorry anapa ye fi ko ni ye fi bai ye bom pa mo nyankopon na ama me boa so nyankopon me ya koyi. That's it. Nti me bom mpa enti me mpa ya me bo no nyankopon odi hu o hwe me na obo me ho bai na osofo bi beka say no mumiem bo no spiritual etuo na enye ebe reflect on mu na mu na enye yare emfema no just because he's exposing their undercover trade ebiom wo de ne to ha yare ahodo a ya plant amane dia ya to dia amane me say emra na ni na so enru baby ya seven previous obehu say one kasa mpo no baby a wa wote wo office kra obeba abetrans wakoye o show no na no kra no obedru ho no mpendu duo bebre no na overse an obi aye nyankoma de bebre ni na ko wie say ye pekwan bi so ye betron atwease me de no si wa hwe the physical ones ni bi ne ne hene enra me kan me program no so say obi pesa okofa naked picture bi na omo de beto abonten say a Kweku Annan naked picture no. Enti make us say, hey, sa undercover group we a software shemu, any nipo shemu, ama me hu mu na kuto mudin. Enra me bo software ba kon ka conspirators me bo ni din. And say ye ko fa sa naked video we di ababon say a Kweku Annan ni.
This is juicy. Me pesa mitini nyina. Che so mo do tell
you
me na so mo de wanim keke na be kire.
No. Me nya access to video no. Ama na just say Kweku me nim krampo me nim video bi a obi asia yes so what to train be more said yen wo mo de beto abonten say e Kweku Annan no na woni ma de wo mo saka video no akọ asofo be di ho ensem wo mo prepare no mo de sa video no hit the news market onipa o shemu no oyoba me nim very well who I took as a sister or California or a Ghanaian doctor or bao on one own private hospital. Okay? And or person na me na fofo be brave so for and na also for no on a planet way my intelligence just on it out so for no so call out in a way Kweku expose na here no baby name say hano but na minim and almost started some more plants way and then na ba be deja abeda adija Mama Matia says,
but it's important for us to make this point. Kweku Annan, who try expose. So what you will bear my wabontin. Say, oh, we will pump more memo. Say, who so cool memo. Yeah, dear fire. I'm trying to make this. What?
Yeah, Obi said, what was there? So, ocean, you know, ye pa. A nipa one more time, like one more, never say, one more day to call. eyi bibia ama eye hintasem. The word is a hintasem. Enya also common to go after and work at no. Sankrofon oftentimes the tardy trauma from the cell near the boom abem a commotion. Eye new be a so grievous a bar. Nani pane nyaku could range na ya the cow shepherd. If you say a bounce on a wood sandy panels who need answers to Sandy and no one to mean different yeah. They have a way of making their gravitating around you, not one with their cell. And also, you know, with any panels. Me now it depends on how story no more fan by you. But intelligence na my picking me to me a conspirators and the omode banner. And as you say, I know, so me to me the above some of I've taken the wind out of their sails. That's here. A bisune and Rama media and then only will pete calendar, ni will pete a fence aboarding cat at the above this way. Or name real more to real. So we'll be to the bed view. Now what for banner can see it say the abomity bandana where to pete I was war. I mean a me lead squad, you know. Mean a me lead charge, you know. I wouldn't say menya pete and a mini pete agro. It is a mini pete agra. Why are you printing that story on the minds of people? As a dear can say,
the mind has to be, as I see, a liberating the party. Point in an American, make Kweku Annan.
The word is to liberate. Yes, we need to liberate. But then yet, an uphill task. It's an uphill task.
Who break his story? Now say, worry will bear my me and family. Who is open my style and family. Open so your monkey style and family and cramine away you, cats and away you. Media information and major DIR, the second information, I mean, I make a final decision on what to do with it. What they want here, if I'm home. And that's the point. It says you would do one, and no friend, yes, she shared you, man, PK Wise. Yes, she shared you, my dear, will be. But as I say, a true baby, I ain't why you tears her a jumashisha, and I thought that would see a jumashisha be now the white to once away and was we need to start treating some of those things with contempt. Because our stories no do one a year ridiculous. And I make a Kweku ni be my dear dear fan hobby. Mimi so this video ni beto about I say obi tebi abeto about 10 wa frame say am abebe. Ade mean to me wo de kire me de dey. Eti me wo de brem kra video no kra me hwe. Fast wo bi any so. At some point SSC started doing sa na yema ni bi ho. So that we can weed some of the nonsense out of our system, really.
It's a primitive mentality. Because the Benino believe and primitive. I don't know. And it will be kind of say, what's the phrase? If you cannot beat them, you join them. But when joining a crusade, they also want to go in an adverse way to find a way to bring you down. And Obisi and talk about his corrupt being. Okay, Nipa why PK then I don't know though. Is it wise? Okay. Now, also me talking about my corrupt being. I don't know. But bet me the more about issues about Kweku is a corrupt. I am one person. Men pen your my kekasha ho. We say no. Now what time the aba? Kweku way was said about you, or if you like evidence, you know the begu amani are interrogating. Any panel omra back about me because in some wama yeah they are told me so we are seeing an idea. It be awesome. A bit awesome. But now, so no one with the bar. Some individuals do not want to behave like I do. We're bringing the evidence base. Now, one with the bar to and one is yes, say Ghana then. Well, Pete is subai ana is me no ana say. Pete is subai ana opete characteristics. Ana said the real being Kweku Annan who looks like opete. I'm anytime no. Do I look like Obede? I don't know.
Also, Obede to who knew
you. I'm more careful.
I don't remember.
Who was it? And now Opete console a tin. Maybe call you tin.
Okay, so say yeah dialogue. But Juliet to say and Crawford will could can be work that out.
Mo Tio. Oh, so we shall see now. Almost we shall see the way they did kind of casa. Yes, say. Yes, say. The me to nipa force our deal with. Is the nipa and find you. Of course, yes, say. Yes, say. One more say. Or say it goes with plural and singular. However, Nina also doesn't support with evidence. To always say, what's your memoir? Mami onoka opete die. Always say, a yakika and what can be. And to him say, by close of a day, Mami will bet me inform me millions of people who will carry this story opete Kweku Annan near Kwano no. That is I am much past near Kwa. And by the time wa bet me who pete no, na maye opete ehun eduma no. Pete die na say. Pete so o the pete tran and tabamu a na okata no a I say wa share rope no. O graduate here. Oh, the graduate here, you know, try to the washer, you know. Meanwhile, men just out here, no. Meanwhile, minimum sepeteo. But obi the workers are some no, and they are two obi trim. Yes, say, and yet me say. And to one we shall share with it's about also for appear issue of good. Nipanet, why are they? One about Alberta own. Alberta Becca, yeah. Alberta should be someone or show me program, I can assume. Mania gada isha. Ne we punu a meme ye no. Anybody that say ntimi hu sabi o nyansa na de Kweku na ye nai. E na mo sia dane story. Ama e happen saying. And na de me no listeners no viewers chest story we. Me timi baby at the time one ye ya so for next expose no. E na me nua peni kwa me Japan. Ye nua peni ba ko a ono so kan ye ho. Ye friend Fifi for US, New York. And a Fifi, I catch him say, there is a guy be over Ghana. Send me your side guy and it's not me interview. Your friend appear biblical. I'm sorry, no, they appear number mommy. And I must say to your viewers, it was my first time to have a contact or a link with this appear guy. Me say appear and that's I'm not Ghana near or lockdown. Mene appear echo share or Fiesta Royal a Wojo Junction. You're quite crazy, baby answer. Baby, in your trying. One more a year fence and a garage in your dean. Let me just appear. We are one or born in and I'm so appear me whom what TV is there. Social media there. I send a walk of four will be in a fire. I saw Branton or here and one. The Nina, it will be a shishi drum and the man. It's okay. Then many appear dean command. I'm say, also experience the bang. And I want to suffer no akoma war also person near better because a telephone in ye appear originally was coming on the 2 TV and the Ghana woman originally no that appear biblical was meant to appear on the show like Demon Break and them answer by. Now here comes appear number on man ama me need to go this and come no any trigger investigations behind appear. And ye who say no. And some baby no appear ni me be this and come on. Ni na no idea on one case or can who be on ya so for the year. Now no see a chile e de abeye illuminum pe. Until ye do appear coming on the show. We halted it. Okay. Me wa me first say how week ni mo me to one appear friend. And also Kweku obi one man dear baby dim one I'm a dear said then also opini be the one man dear amame. I'm say dear I'm a dear ben. Okay. Ya kika on best of baby ni panid na me kateko. Then the next day and appear some from there. Ejeku I'm a dear no me e ukuta mi o na you see am pese me wo ye den wo beje na e wo ha opini ni so me fema. Ama me force no one appear if you do body say Mame Agrada and this kind of man. Let me see. Appear then of the iska. And I'm say, Mame Agrada this care mouth said dear bad because one, Mame Yamin Comodi for 2, meaning share and put your business there in the very moment one. Now appear name a casa. 3, mene Mame Sumpun in commo phones in a macasami, yes, can appear Jena Febrem. No. So what warrants this? And I make a challenge appear fiscal cover. Now, some make a drama, need now recordings. It go. Empty, make an appear the back on from corner. Mancasa, it was the same day which would be Wednesday. Me program is Wednesday. Ama, and I'm a botu riem. Mamia Grada, se would me. She cannot with them appear biblical, on a quadriwadi. Now, some of me can the other message in the bio. So, tia program now. Some of me can Oko YouTube and in there. Obi mekanjam se Kweku Annan ma program. I said on my show, Mamia Grada, Kona Kokoji Sika, baby, I would call Kona Kokoji Sika. Openly on my program. I didn't do it quiet. Mankotra be quiet, na me chance answer. I said it on my program, and the evidence is there on YouTube. I don't need to pull it. More was are doubting, Kona Kokoje at the house. Now, me can't ask them where they're changing you my we are. Enti, you me a penny a fifi at Tiano, and I'll say, Kweku. Then air course appear na air course them here. Enti, fifi no fair appear our line so. And of frame me, enti yen train no near our line so. And a fifi ni bisa appear. Sika ben wakwa jo mamino, and or can't story now. Ne story now, they say, or say, me maka no appear, me say. Me car I say, let me hear Sika dia koto engine am appear. Are you stupid? One I can't answer the job. By the way, come me babe share one. Man fa me car ma. Ubi sam nam zo me ana man drive. As an investigator, me ye nema bebre. There's many times I meet me kweguma. Me the tax nam the whole week. Me the tax nam the kweguma. Sometimes make me drive it car. The other car say nyame na me ko. I don't need to expose my modus operandi. I'm the ejuma. Me be share man fa car ma. If I say Ojina and also they call that dama, many say, Mimi, yes, they can. The internet and about one Java Joseph is kind of call. Appear this kind of cool, I'm my own friend cool. Every year in SMP, let me be JH ready. Subsequently, I'm a taser, my men, Eddie Asamako police. Emma make us say police who see investigating. Investigation by investigator, and then my title will be say appear Eddie says he can aqua mama and the back. It's here for now. Go be appear. Didn't know this kind of come out. You see, and this is the whole story of Agrada.
But
midway see one more. Midway see one.
Tie that in at the same time because you're linked with. I want you to clear three things. Nafi yeko. Obi Bisa said, so why do you think Sena Agrada tried to bribe you in the first place? Why was she bringing the money?
Let me tell you this. Time one me what radio on Hot FM 93.9 FM. There were you see there's a in 24 kakasi almost say so we got to say benu kwa. E mizom say there some need to be just na no there nearby. There is a trail of events. In my days on radio in Hot FM, now me run investigative program or Hot FM called Ghana Maslow. Now on Hot FM no na Agrada wo emrante be ahodo na omo ye adwuma e wo Hot FM at the same time so running advert wo. Many times I may hear investigative stories that emfa Agrada hompono. Those emrante ni ye several attempts to say that womo maame in your person me din komo about what. Now you know something, whether it was her intention to sort me out even in my radio days to see say men farmasem and so in any way, in any how, I don't know. My radio days, and never be brave to see. Now, in my deduction, and this is my deduction, that is what I can say. It was about say, Kweku Annan, say minimum no. As I said in previous song, a for a my dear. Now a new regime about may see a change IGP and a change police officer or area name. I confirm to me, no police officer for that to be sent a bear yasamba on near there on KB and answer it. It is all about some of these things we see. I wouldn't say that was I'm trying to bring the minds of people
speculation.
Take it to a certain level. And see, me ban the two na me medumano. Meaning share nim na arrangement na meaning. But my many be sikana ma appear some femremia. Answer me the make one is there. Well, I found mommy just because they deal show me and I may expose another visa. No, it was because Appiano specifically mentioned to her. So say me or no Appiano air catcher my minister, me say me car say yes me demand this car no a young common me and need say oh and then come go share Kweku. Now also Kweku Annan of the two. Oh me share no kana one faka man or say ne car engine crash say oh okay. So later no yenya access to my mina ye bisano. And also it says, oh, and come up here in the BD. It also feels out of the benevolence of a soy not because I requested for, not because our intention be, as I said earlier, but the basis on which all this is can buy was appear. Ebeka chen say, say, yes, I mean, demand it. Name mini Kweku Annan, and come a course, and a man person of Boameke. And to let me be sad, on my mere glad I say. I didn't know one for phone and one friend, one German number one person. Kweku, many appear bedding common, I say, or car say, me patromate me or Moana. The woman, honorable, honestly admitted say it was a mistake on her part. But at that time, the harm has already been caused. And for me to come out, say, what you see, canon. So, I beg your own appear a tug of war between on them. So, some matters are, this can occur. Mean to mean, did you zoom more to that of my main intention much than what I've said, and I cannot conjure anything. The fact is the fact. Lies are lies. And yet, subsequently, one person target me with my menu for all intents and purposes. Now, something also happened. Ama, we are seeing. You don't necessarily say, as I say, Kweku, me be ya wadan kubi strong kubi. Unua bema bi strong kubi. Say bia wo hiam wo bia wo betimi ayeden aboa me ana me meboa obia yesi oguan be bi odi ne fufu be bone de anya obia sel mami one time oni osofo bi su nya asem ena oma obi eto nkra frɛ me sɛ eja Kweku mu na mo ye mpanyimfo asem ya be wo so na wo ye obi a wo ka nsɛm bi atititi asem ye didi mi hwɛ sɛ saa asem we esase ye didi mi patro wo so investigate case we. This was the time where me want to be the message back. This was the time Agrada was arrested. And to your team, I mean, I didn't one. You didn't control national security. You didn't control the next day. That's a 24 hours about. And we didn't call court. We didn't call court from court to consular. And we proceeded in the bar police headquarters. From police headquarters, no, we didn't call cantonment. Me starting the tomb. So look at the chain of arrangement. And she's a woman. It's almost be friend and say, as someone all come. Me put them in here. My call a fear your baby, I may back a crack. Any friend me bomb, and yes, as someone are tuning in. Them so, meaning say, you didn't call national security, and the next one be in Manabit, you know the rest, no marriage or vision. Not me, I said the air question. And no more friend, say, as some we win. I couldn't say, woman me who said, why and only Nenya San to Quay, and on which them so only a scene Nenya San to Quay. The tea similar tea and ama. Na the usual and to quantitate say bloggers say we have TV so about blog it we did we have them we usually about no so be did we have them and on nipa no just as you name say mama aga the enemy we do we have them we are say and the nipa na fa mama na tem de ni bia we di no or they court no they kwakwa defamation and say misdemeanor also and you charge mama na enti nipa ni ni say say nipa no so mi metimi na kasa enti Kweku Uni nipano enkasa na asemu enya asemu a so de me fa kwa we ena me fe nipano
me pa to me ba e ma watu aso shwa de funche he listen ye nyin enti mo me yen comport ye ho ha sem panyimfo to da ye ko ba bi wo ha ye nkwara agoro ni yedi right now no ye nyin Kubasi Vandam me nu etisen akwaba it's good to have all of you but as I said rules of engagement na ye observe language be how we penny and say if one over, even if it's for a joke. As I've said, please respect yourselves and let's have this conversation because me person mutie story no na munyina mutie mu making my mind up. Questions neighbor but who say binum de manase aba. Kweku make points. Kweku we are baby bia say obofo na we investigation man no na we investigating at the same time no na you be foforo.
Great, mami we na me baso. Great. Enti ama eba na ese me free nipa no a ma na me ba obi nka nkyere me se Kweku Annan ma me ne frɛ wo no tie na sem anamenti and I act upon it and I act it and I'm to tell any Ghanaian I don't care who you are. It was my prerogative to listen to the woman. And then there are many person me no. Na me ni nipa ne nkasa. Na asem ko ne no wo mumre fi no mumre resolve. That is all I did. And oni nipa no resolve mo differences. And then me no ka say asomdia ba nipa ne ntem. Okay, Matthew 9 verse B. Or say Isra anyone. That's also my ama. So unima. Or say Isra anyone. Or say great. Or say Isra no patafo. It is a Kweku and na meme so. And I'm bear your patafo and to kwanwa. Ma minini say nipa no wono. Esutra ya. For me, you can hate me. Ubetimi aka say you corrupted. Then I don't give a damn. But of course, me yamenya kupons weduma. And I don't even want to give a monkeys of anybody's thinking. Period. That is the limit to that story. Because I'm a Bibini said your Bibini here not doing so dark. I did be a new Abeka, ye perfect ye been a wutu ebinimufono. Ye perfect ye and ye penny pass say ye and ye person did ye didn't pa court yasimu. But ye paid ye bayam punto. Isn't I know. And me no me say minus me. If you person you're a follower of Kweku Annan, you must change your mind and you must have a renewal of your sense of direction. But the person who this direction of this useless way of thinking and putting falsehood, allegations without merit, me want to me limity. And I want to me see me yet in this agron. And I may no man can wait and fair exonerate me who say Kweku and the quaphobia man. No way, no. Dear woman and a cremacature. The onion a cremacature. Dia me fumi no so memo say me fumi and I say me gitu but the amount from me purpose on the na omu changing narrative and they get it twisted. No, I'll not allow it. Ama for the no okay. Kweku maybe short and introduction the kind of thing. Let me do a recap.
So you're investigative journalist.
And then
so okay, so you're investigative journalist. Okay, can expose
and then second one is
and what a confusion here, Basa, because
okay. Let me tell you this. Kweku is an investigative journalist and also the CEO of a private investigative company, the Hawk. The Hawk Investigations Company is a private entity. We do undercover stuff, we do spying, espionage, and we work for agencies including national security and other intelligence agencies around the world. That is my field. Now, Ejuma Mayen, Ejuma na sebi in previous, a minion were poise, Mayen were a sort of petemu. Ebium, the policy of the company is not to segregate or otherwise to kind of thing, do selective. No. Yeah, Ejuma Magan in India insofar as Oyenipa and everybody around the world. My company, I was a year Ejuma Bebrino. Or software umuboni obi the assumption so say wakokum obabi ewo hafasni ho western region chiro ho eyen zimakrum we kukum obabi e dia ritual so saa de na oye ne ye de beto no so a na eye asem a eda saa osofo yi so a o hwetu ho anamo making na CID for so apeke intelligence we e be ye ho adwuma. Eti nipa ne kan sa asem we say sa na osofo na kwere na enibiri aba osofo no epe kwan a obetimi exonerate no and obi directing say me company ye betimi aye say adwuma oba ye obe contact no one thing just came clear. One, the ye adwuma on net TV na two ho na ye no na two entimi nko ye say adwuma ma. Do you get that clear? No, no. They catch them and say, oh, a private company. Yedman is a mobetini, I say, Munko no Muhuni Crenwa, the patron Mofametiga, Munsua. Yes, and why you hear a report on the intelligence report. Ama, that is the length and the breadth of this. Company no, in Crawford, wa, Omuye Ejuma, our company. So they have to sit him down, give him all the rundown. Kwanya air so fast not to tune in your man, company no, ASH man. The obetimi aye no oyeni na ama company mo official etu anamonko half a senior ho ekoye sa investigation na yes investigation no na CID mpenimfo so monitor the yen so ye no mo so ye omo de so me wo ho na CID mpenimfo frame say investigation na o mate say yen so ye privately no what do we have and I'm a catcher director of CID say dia me hu no onya omunya careful because a name be NCCC. The nipa no this allegation we ever told papa is the very fact that we may even be investigating or software. However, The very first year investigating it does not mean that yakwa who be privately. No so enya ne kra. Ne aba be di atro say ne kra. No, me nya medwuma sa. No a private company no kra na yes sir. And also okay, you weigh your findings we should make them have a copy. Me na American ni na no. You weigh the no. And CID for no so kire say. Woman who may be detecting you may be and yet as the way nipa no this allegation by an air cannon. That is how it is. So you are. The long and short of this. You will be no ye report by no. Next CID for a report any report ama difference be any. So the CID for bet me I say nipa no obey allegation MHR or Tofu was arrested. Yet you need to move life. You really can't almost have a process in the court and any people who really want or may have done it. And then you know, Kweku software man spend made your software videos be PR on things subsequently. Ebe exposing is a way I can we general was okay in free young couple. Money benya a serious clash. Mono so crab on thing. Ebe me man ultimatum be na DNF and is a basic Nina when you have for any DCO. I want to understand people's way of understanding issues. And they said there were more things someone safer. As somebody better, how do you probe? How do you understand it? How do you listen to it? And now we do not yes as well not with the and that is not the way. And that's not fair.
Yes, for you've explained Metihonase. But do you think at any point in this story, you had your friend is saying your sad your normal friend is in the profile.
Sorry?
You were in net 2, more year at the back conflict of interest, and then I'm going to profile was there at any point, would you perceive in hindsight any conflict of interest in any of this?
Great. Let me help you here. And that's big. I know some issue. Let me say one more benya understanding in your one. Sa issue no allegation the told papa number 1 was not under investigations as far as the 2-year concerned. 1. 2. Net 2 is a separate entity of its own. That has nothing to do with the Hawk Investigations Company. Number 3, that investigation was done purely by a private investigative body. Net 2, and see a private entity on also findings in a private company was not meant for publication. And nevertheless, to say that it even came in our publication. That was a private thing done and to give a report solely to the individual, and it was given to the individual. At the individual or the fire home. And the Uber catch them is there. As soon as say the same net 2 TV now or exposure as software. The same net 2 TV no and undercover investigation. Where do you draw the line? But
no, but
the people here.
TV, no. Who were net 2 TV? No. They are almost exposing. And then Nipa no are exposing no and so defending him. And so how are you exposing and defending without conflict? And when I'm person will clarify because many when are questions
yeah, the answer is very simple. Dear Benti, the analogy Ben I'm debating what you see. First of all, if somebody saying that the president Yakunyaswa or the Juma Maninia Ben also 1 year president in a conflict of interest, Anna, would that be? That becomes that if Miniano has all the prerequisite requirements to qualify for that job, no, yeah. But people link it to a conflict of interest. In the advanced democracy, who are connected all the time, we must define conflict of interest positioning well. In this case, again, I repeat, me say that investigation was not meant to be published on the 2 TV. It was purely a private thing for someone. The very fact is that me Kweku and me a host of the speech show me expose. Say idea net 2 TV na me question and one so soon acquire investigation nipa na hwehwɛ no a ɛna me wie yɛ man famma ama me publisher they must question my integrity here. But nevertheless to say that investigation was not from the 2 TV.
Okay.
It's in the 2 TV koye ni die wi a no expose a ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ private one nso a yakɔ ne fa mɛtɛn na ti yɛmfa mɛdane yɛ ɛna me catch a while ago say after ɛno n'akyi no saa ɔsɔfo yi a na ɔmo kana so ni videos there 4 of them hit the screen big time bibia mu na asie ɛma obi ahu. Why do you think I did that? I didn't do that simply because you know antagonistic via a certain friendship basis of this or that. However, one will say there, you're compromising, it's not the issue here. Company no, and yet obliged to say, you way drama, men your way drama. No way, you're sir. Baby, your face says, see, you're near the quernetono, you're the to say, idea, me, kind of saying, netu. And I mean, or they buy and me tam ne 2 crew. And I'm doing cool rab ya hona me koye sa adena. And a sa investigation I'm mabontin. So be questions why is that investigation I'm mabontin. And you'll be private ejuma.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll be private ejuma. Now who expects I mean from me the babontin and ye ama. More questions.
That's a fair point. I was for who? Mo amabaso no me mama kwa me se mumu do no amoya ahoho. Me who so BBC say, Amma, why are you discussing social media fights? Me, I'm not discussing social media fight because I'm not interested. I wanted this interview. I think it's about a year in the making. And I feel my hey, that's that time that be freezing. Come freeze you, camera, hey, internet. At least they started the interview. Afiama and Ambwa. It's been at least a year. Yeah, what I wanted to know is the man behind the persona. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Meaning say mo bi wo ha mo won tokwa bi a mo ye interested and no ho nsem na mo pe. Mo bi wo ha mo history with the name and the persona. I am hoping say mo bi wo ha you are capable of actually putting those sentiments to one side and also having a civilized discussion. Whatever it is your views are, no, you can hold them and we can still be respectful in this dialogue. Me pese wutie intellectual conversation. Me pese wutie what he represents. Me pese wuhunu why he does what he is doing. Maybe mumubi or hokra you identify with what he's doing more, but I don't think se mumudu do no amati ase ade kro no awopese wo ye. Enti me pese Kweku di nkomo na mumudu do no amunya opportunity. Na motive wo pese wo ye. Se wo join osofo bi kuo ana wo join osofo bi kuo me say emfa me ho. Se wo pe wo bi asem, wo mpe wo bi asem eno no me enye me case. Na mom wo me page so hanko a de mesrew. As opanyin a wo ha no bu homa me. Se be ya ehu hia se obi atwi wanim. Obi anya kasa kasa chire bi de ma mesrew. Bu in the comments you make. I want it to be intellectual. For the first time, I'm asking you to actually be logical and critical in the Niamanidi. And yes, it's asking a lot because Kweku or your controversial character. Kweku is an emotive character. Kweku the emotions, Nebabo is a logical but I'm asking you today to do the very difficult job of remaining logical whilst we discuss the emotive enigma that is Kweku Annan. You didn't come on. More computer there, more phone screen. So we will also all these things are great, but they are emotions. And they say, yeah, discuss it, pertinent issues. Kweku say, or person who said the imagine. Now, who you wondering about the Ubeji, what information? After all he is doing is putting things on his Facebook. Mo pesa mokohwe ena mokoshe. Mo pesa mokuhontokwa ena moku. Eniema no amodi Kweku content ni no kwa menye sure say ebi ye ono Kweku ni intention. And then my next question. Kweku, do you think say enkrofo misuse or content no? Enkrofo misuse information now that I want to on public space and one. And if you think so, how? Why?
Well, I don't know, but it's about so sometimes like somebody, you know, in order to maximize profits or people want to go into the news market and hit a target, they can just look at something that somebody has done and then they'll go for make it a byproduct and then it will metamorphose into something that honestly to me that they make it and ends me to something. Depends on the person's way of doing things. Zono. But me, Kweku Annan, I have never had a problem if somebody want to use my intellectual property to do anything, except to say that use it, but let us also fall within the content. A content that tell a story, a content that make meaningful, a content that speaks of something that directs to a sense of purpose. But if my content is going by way of you not having the first-hand information of why I did what I did, and then you go and you put your narrative to it, you get it twisted, it is clearly that you have not been fair to me. And a lot of people in our creative world, you know, love to do things like that. And that for me is another disturbing factor. If the family now they call now for you said the way be annual. Bonin insofar as the old econo eco transmitted to widen the knowledge base for people to understand the drive. It's in line. But the brain I'm on the product they acquire there, young country, and then so they get it twisted. Time and time, first I said I'm worried, but it got to a point I realized no, let's ignore all this and just allow these people to also flow in their life, in their world of, you know, seeing. Yeah, if you ask me.
Okay. To say, I'm out for a battle. But who say Encofuania break, one more con, a 1 year my papa. Say,
my NTB, my Nama, more opportunities, and I mean to me, woman, some meetings or no moment. So, oh, a many platform and me bar. Yeah, not me to me, yes, our time because me sure me bar. So, maybe spend this our time me now. Now, maybe ye and conform some ano about what they have against me. Intimate. Intimate opportunity be there. Maybe about my life or about what I do and certain issues lingering for this question, then I can answer some of these questions.
And then the floor is yours. More questions and the Kweku say.
Yeah, so for questions maybe
for question to her and me what the question to her, I will put it to Kweku exactly.
And I believe that since I will engage him in this discussion, I think it's been very lovely. May you in some degree so anumpa. The answer no kwame menye sure say na BP was a discussion, but of course.
Yeah.
I didn't and try and so. Do be yan on Zubia behu say the way yan, and that's exactly how it is.
I knew you would go with this one, bam. Will be the first one about. Or say, why did you poke your nose into an ass? And what was the benefit?
Oh my goodness. My main kind of say, I remember and yet Ubia me too many see no one say me never fuck kwanya ya dene fast no wo kwan bia so ama no kweda wa yenka na metre bibia fa kwanya anas ntokwa yi hyase anas ntokwa na hyase o baby am nim se bebre mpo enne wo mo nkai baby ntokwa na hyase fe na in my radio days still hot 93.9 FM me wo hona ahemfo won mo labadi is that be kotopon won mo ba eba me office beka kire me say journalists be adi woman say now journalists are very powerful power. It's the whole of East that they could top on precisely Chado. More Ghana and the money they are making Chado or Joe Monsasi or yes how and I him for no presented document in Google and I'm within a picture I told me say kai I remember how say yes. Now let me give you a bit of history about Chado and Sase. Chado and Saseno belongs to two families. As our family way, one, Baku aye from Ontario attached Nache. One was our family way, and in some years back, one the other family no air con to Kwao. And Omuko fair announce Aremi announce it's Omrame support in this battle. So announce Coco support to Ontario attached Nache for. And on no year, not or the influence within the Ghanaian society, or the bear having a way. no imagine as free the other side. Well, we kosu and at the other side never report to me say and anas yeah. But you see an anas any power over our family no. And you see an anas at the land gas a ratchet do the private people and that's it. So how? Okay. And then we borrow our investigations room. Ama. The cool just, and as I speak, I don't have the permission to mention all of them their names. But for the purposes of clarity, I may mention them out. The current Minister of Finance, Ora Vincent Kenoforiata, Nibusi Nibi Asase, Anas Eje. Current Deputy Minister, Emma Local Government, Ora Vincent, she's a member of Parliament, Martin Timano, Martin Eje Kosa, I will be any Munkobisano, Anas attempts or Jenna Sase. There's a top businessman, BOA, Onosuo, or Honoma, Anas, yes, or Jenna Sase, oh, the Canadian, but including Roman Catholic, Asoria, a watchadua, Omakoje Asasi, young Tamo, Majehu War, our Mubesi school, any other inquiry, via Modebeye reviews a day. And that's your this answers. And a lot, no, if you mean real investigation, I'm not man 40 years, say private investigator, Kweku Annan, a room, I'm a nipa, deep, father, Edu, or Munster, the better. I was overwhelmed. So then I have to look for an answer. Let me be saying, say, Joe, who ye be sour child what now said day? When me born my friend. My friend was say, and yes, I'm not saying it here. Name on one quacoton assassin. Nasasi or Kotoe, Enna and Kufu Peso Moji, if you need them or their cocoa, and my quarter money day. Judgment. Ruling in your mind. It's okay. For document in the bra. There were one my phone so a couple of it and normal obi sending me documents and you know normal obi sending me documents is a million I'm making guy. I'm a magic documents and I'm making kind let's say just kind of say judgment and a judge in one man. Judgment and also ain't not clear say yes you confess assassin. So the matter was to be determined subsequently over a certain angular judge or the cast action. And I'm a friend, I'm say, my judgment or the baby, see and cast a confessor. Meneno, Faha, a year say, and I tell you, for me to know, say, I'm not a bit yes, sir, in the first place, class a my friend, a bisano. Then Yadia Namidron. Meaning who say, I am from a band or no mood yasso. But me, women who say, no, son and yasso. After judgment, no, the Brennan, then countless of people were just coming one after the other, including videos, pictures of honest land guards. All terrorizing for. I was behind him. Hey, what is going on? Mika say, on a police phone penny phobia and on one more yes, I do wait. Okay. To me, Bomodia contacted Sanko Fuin, including Deputy Minister Martin J. Cosa. Obia to me, friendly Bisano, said American Meboa. Ama, because I may quite announce in the same way. They said the whole day, I could see the end of the week, naming year, but must summarize the number. So eventually, announce in common me record here. Netu, me buy me boy, will be 8 years. I recorded me in a conversation. And yeah, they told him, say, no, I let me out. Someone will catch me. I can see that there is no iota of truth. I'll beg of you to have your full cooperation, and then we can do what? We can go into this matter. We investigative journalists. As much as we investigating others, and my person problem subject to the same scrutiny. Near from Queen. I could see there being none of the Adam and one, and I'm not here or cut a call. If you me friend of your mom, be bia or say on your day, on Kasami. Okay. Then I'm investigation be deeper. Anyone say no, I dear born I year what child honor a bigger than I know. If you are in front one of them say, we told you so. Yes, you know. We will try to do a documentary. Listen, who watches the Watchman? As I said, also betray we are saying. Kwanya wo fa so a wo tu anamon any baby a wo de ko ama this was the beginning of the whole Pandora box. Contains bigger explosive things we didn't know. Unknown to me, sir. Sana we na kakono. Anas, areme ye wanas. Any on one can send a for no one ye doing. Ama, womumu ake se bam. Ama bebre, ejeja ye jumaneko. On grounds of the bear. Kanya on no faso eye jumano. Mesika eba. Ne se sika no so wi a ontimi enche sika ne momo said yes wo ye no. Yes. Na no ya another time eba so. Enti ya wana. Yes or no, as a CNC, I did him a Ghana for all the bits and pieces of information that Yako gather, I was Achado in Saturn Hong Kong. Any woman in pinifone business people, as I see a document near Mobia Canacin about how they know enough. Come and tell the world. So, see a better investigation with Ewa Anas and a Kweku Manubo Kitty man come on. And I'm a better time program in the Hot FM. And I'm a country we have to say, yeah, documentary way. Now, documentary way, the import of it is to tell a story about the journalist he claims to be that we have known, but who is not, as the story says. Yeah, per se, Ghana for Motimin, person of them go for radio Sabro be in the form of a documentary. So we need people to come and help this documentary and one. That's what about it. Me wonder that time no this was in 2017 oh. Na Anas the sa Kweku Annan expose no the Bible. So there around and the YNCA pushing for this documentary say yeah put the I think he solicited for funds. So amount for me one yen documentary yen for free. Cameraman e be kwa bontin basis ama wuni ni. Enti yeah, they told us here solicited for funds. You want a brand to be frame, and a brand to catch him so. What to say? You see a documentary, but documentary no person babe support him. And a boss story way to we are not. I catch him there. By the way, Kweku, me wafa. Eka Kweku Annan expose no Anas deba. So on the basis of this, me wafa person sponsor sa o documentary now deba. Na also Ghana for who Anas say, sir, acclaimed a year of the man, he is not what he claimed he is. I'm so okay. And I'll catch him so, the wafa, person name Kasa, no one Kasa, so the wafa not man or me ho. In the ancient, ama the next day you could show Afrikiko, and all day nothing now to her. Now, or buy anyone who could a bag, and all the bag needs you, pretending say a normal good bag. However, said Kweku as an investigative journalist, a bit of a catcher earlier. The first time you investigative journalist does not mean that I can get it right. No, I have my weakness, I have my shortcomings, and we must admit this. We are human beings, and it can happen to anybody. Or the bag in the bag has a pointed camera in the bag. Inti yankuma yedi ni na or recording ni na. Na nkomo ni na ko wiese ne wofa eka sa investigative no dey ba. Na ne wofa sika ekodi ni ho no $1 billion a Kweku Annan teki de ma no. A say sika no ho document so ekodi tiger eye for ho. Na so za okay. So mo pesa mo ye den. And also ne wofa so ni me medi nkomo na yentia say they want to come and support. Na me kire mu chance one program na meteso Hot FM no. Hot FM is a station. Me ye program I'm on contract. Me company no eduma yense and this documentary will be done by a private entity. No say no aso no mo hwe. And no mu bi sam say be course say na me say no wait. Answer na mo ye no be kan sika sam kra no. Ma me no wo fa no enkasa e wo phone so. Me to an oye call. Na me je phone na me ne wo fa na enkasa. Na ne wo fa na the way o kasa utumi say I say obi a wa point to hide out. Okasa wo say na make me aka tell me say nipa ko a of friend ma me ne kasa no Ahmed Swali who was gunned down some years back. Ahmed Swali no pretending say on the wafa but then no na me Kweku na me ni Ahmed Swali me ni share that me ni say na kasa tie enti oni e kasa wie na ochizu Kweku ni pamocho munye bibia mo betimi aboa yen na me pese mo document no kwa eba counter the Anas de ban. No, please open your yenesa. Yen we de ya me pato yen timi pray home be ye not okay. And yes, Adia. So what Japanese mobile document the yen say best support. Ama and a conversation and end there. The next day, and on Sunday, and the warfare say on him in Bishia, the yen discussing. The Bishia no or say the warfare say unpresented envelope we and money. As one source of giving, underline the word commitment. Womo eba bedding, eba bed support to document is Kweku. Please accept our commitment. Then we see any upgrade. Now, well, any probably so then. Ebeboa into some mobile fine mama media. But then, my commitment is mobile banner. I don't have a problem with it. And this our conversation you see. The third conversation you sign ever have you me say. The one financial maybe some investigation here and documentary need a back course and I'm this figure a two paper so the man no more. Sana way now it was the means to come give this commitment so-called money and then do what? Take a video recording or the better abontain and will change the narrative no say wabema Kweku Annan what? A bribe to investigate or not announce at the same time, or a bribe to do what? I'm not going to be and on this video in better about say yes, ya come Kweku Annan bribe. Ama the ka onyankopon or tiho tree now as I see we say. Say obi no be catch me say announce the ne fa kwan we so. And all this I do a better what our kwaje braba Kweku mejeji and I'm engineer. It's a different ball game altogether. But Bob Marley will not send your crown. He who knows it feels it. And sometimes you need to be in a certain position in order to tell the story better. May regret it and may regret it or not, even into the future. Was our way enough? I did near my fast. Why? Because Emma made the opportunity to tell the story about how Annan does so-called his investigative journalism. Because Emma, as an experienced investigative journalist, Mama fancy TMU be and yes, I need to money no. So even for the investigative some question Kenya, the law tells you, the common law tells you that the giver and the taker both are what? Guilty. How many investigations as our boy or or this a common man for inconformity to baby you? Listen to me, Debbie and me can't want to answer, but now and as and yes, me have a whole canopy. That's a woman be who the chronometer we. Ultimately, co create a crime scene. Not our crime scene, no. Who co create crime scene? Now one can so what crime scene? Now what trigger an action? Who we are no way taking a footage. Now they are babble and say there's a crime. No, it's never done anywhere. Not to use the word subterfuge. Not to use the word entrapment. Not to use the word what. These terminologies here may you see. It's applicable to intelligence organizations. Subterfuge, entrapment, and all of that. But as a journalist, setting for up when there is no crime. Now we set a crime in my woman. Never anybody be a worship me and I would tell me to believe it. We are fallible. Every human being is infallible except God. And so be the sikabema waje on conditions of for no be business. Obi the sikabema say a chedian or their mouth. Obi the sikabema because we need a grabbing or their mouth. Any of the three, obi faith, any kind of faith, not back. No, but get it all the way twisted so I'm out briber. It is just a matter of say a best subject all the way to proper scrutiny and interrogation. That is exactly what Anas did. Now, would you bonnie to say we are? No, but country yes, say would the bribe of a Kweku Annan. Now, I'm going we are very particular and critical about Anas videos or the babonting with all these exposés. I am not here say the entire Anas Emma coin Emma one more or the not to almost video no omun come asem na nkowie ntia ye is the trick. Never in his investigative pieces of video otimi man kofo ne kwan emomo kasa ya awie otwitwa so we are no omo your narrative a voice over no there are two video no so into who tia wo sha video no hwehwehwehwe be ha na obi get the obi wo be sha hwehwehwe na obi diska hwehwehwe ne sika da pono so. Master, your documentary, sir. No, that is a lie. That is wickedness. Question you want to see here can watch me. And then Ghana Nibia who follows our case. FIFA on be exonerating Kweku Annan. FIFA be exonerating. Kweku Annan is waiting for the government of Ghana to bring the white paper on him. That's all. You can't arrest Kweku Annan when the CID is investigated. The basis on enough expose on self midway, Abba midway say, Ama were all based on conjecture and lies. Eventually, you could realize and say, hey, some on one boys no mudi the chini now, so it would say no. You penny a dreamer or yin nara. Hey, basis on say, young Korean destroying of war. The answer one. I did about if you be discover and say, enough videos are wide and more than 100. Now, we also discovered in our own intelligence, research, and investigating and now said that, oh, yeah, no, the video, no, some of them need to chat. In Peninfo, more Ghana, no, Mukute Dino, no, the video, not Cochiloma. Or the trauma, a deal. No, cool. Or one conform, yes, or a deal. At the end of the day, this is the video. You either pay this money or we drop the video. This was it. Now, people should go and ask. Ebane saying, and when you all the quantum of money or the years age money now, that thousands of dollars now, or the group on a social for instance, no more francona. When you say can and there will be a question in ye. If you have blackmail way, and now if you like, a means of say, Upa say, would this fear a tunk of for the extort to seek a few more. Ghana for the was saying, no, much going to say, no, this is how a boy in all people. If you yes, I'm so intercepting material, a list of top personalities in Ghana. Obiadi what paper is so. What my telephone numbers was so, what my addresses was so, and then even their spouses that was so. And I tell you what, these were in Kofa no more announced wanted list, so target list as a Franco putting announced ever a form of investigation or their common. So no I didn't walk and trap one.
Maybe a question. Obi send me back or saying some not working in ano. So Obi take you on legally. Are you able to substantiate?
I'm about money for no crown fan home. Now that's one too. Never be on a 2 months. Oh come on. No one for thousand of grandma. Look, me can't ask someone. I am reading me new year 1 or 2. How I become so charged because the things I know and the number a good no so I get an answer. Money panel fan home and my day and I saw on how many days, weeks, months, years? And yes, I do on the 2 and I think on it. What maybe an answer? The farthest an answer was media commission. Listen to me, Nippon in years. The farthest announced a coin, a media commission. When I a media commission, or they may call a create. I don't know one from young couple. Go and ask him. Come on, announced, I say. Mimi say no, Mimi good anymore, you know. The ultimate answer or the make for media commission. Media commission could this as a minimum. Media commission into me who as a minister. No, dismiss the case. That was the end of the ruling. The next thing was expectance of a court. Get into the one court. Now me Kweku Annan court no be court. Winning materials here. Let me tell that listener or that viewer say, me I'm telling you, I was equally shocked to see and pick the materials that you're picking up. Me now one can announce the domain. Maybe some say by sending some information in your. You know what? We presented a lot of videos. I want there too. Some videos were videos are unedited videos. Why not fast investigation? Man, so one more question today. They went to Dubai, rented a hotel, and almost 30 cameras. There are 5. She said them. And they are draw nipa near better dining. Near to Tunano. Yet to Tunano where we are near this group also. Yet this group also. Shobi is Felix Nyankopon. Former finance minister before the bank manager Felix Nyankopon. Make sure come with the papa way fast for home. And how they conspire to make sure that the man was dismissed from the doing. Yet the Felix Nyankopon. Yet one they trap plane ticket the man. Man about Dubai. Ka hotel and or yen who pretending who so or Sheikh Al-Thani. Who he is not. And on me a complimentary card. And on my papa ne bao. And on some person be bank or West Africa ne Ghana. And a papa ne bao. It was purely business. And I have all the videos here. Me what
undercover na nipanako. So undercover.
Who told you the undercover? undercover
no,
first of all, the man is a banker or yenejuma. Or mekao, or medi usika, or nyawoshi. Just because they wanted that still that story in American Philip Yankopon, somebody wanted Yankopon out of the bank. So they used an app to do that. They made me a catcher.
Anyway,
yade papa ne ba hono. Womudi nkomuni na we me wo videos ni na gu ya say. Any this group no so ma papa no or say take this money on your way back to Ghana. Buy something for your kids. Where the video ni na recordings ni na aka say we na na wo. Buy something for your kids. Now, what the idea to be said on Genome Franco, Tadia Manikata, now Adane Ametamorphosis into a bride given. What kind of rubbish is that?
But also, Mama Yan clarifies that issue. There are certain things that need to be picked up, like this particular one. Maybe what hey, Micheladia. Maybe I'm Micheladia, go for shake farm, okay, Michela Madi. But Ubicha watch a dear type be in certain rules, and so you are not allowed to take it.
Now listen to me here quickly, maybe. Listen, you must give clarity to this by way of cultural jurisdiction. When you say even America, in America, check Jamaica, one more America emotional program because they should bring it out. In America, it's almost becoming like a compulsory.
But that's different. That's different.
Exactly. There is a cultural jurisdiction in this. Ghana, I tell you, I prohibited. Now listen to this. When the Chief Justice or Chief Justice in Nimiabua, tell me every Chief Justice or Parliament Defense and Select Committee. Haruna Bisano, Haruna Idris, minority leader. Anybody can go and check. Obisano said, if you are to be given a gift, Chief Justice, would you take it? Or catching plain or see even you, if you bring me a gift, I will take it. If you bring me a good, I will take it. And nobody has said there. And you said there were the person of the John is there. You have say, oh, call a hifie. It doesn't matter, sir, hifie bang. Ama, what do you mean? You must go and present a certain form of traditional right. Would you say that is also a bribe?
So the worker needed the naturally said there is no point in discussing bribery and corruption in Ghana.
Get it straight here. The bribe is about defining it. Say, BBSC, what just here? BBSC. Many panel persons asking the baby one thing. No person or cover by covering it. He wants to bribe that journalist or whoever wants to bring that issue. No person or cover. Please do not equate that to that of a gift to be their movie. How can you say that is a bribe?
I could tell you, maybe maybe person be sweeting when I'm a man with gifts name your bribe. A whole line's not a blade capital.
No, now me know me any example. Ama. To see a free no one waba. Uso Kweku mabao ochina bomodian me share me airport runabout. Me share o house okay. Me ba di we na me dey buy until the edge. Na ja yen komo e didi anti me ja. Oh ama me da say. Unknown to me said there's a button. Oh what and this button has filmed this conversation. See how you don't wait. Filming this conversation. A filming way, you know. It is only you exclusively mutual to that of this video footage. Now, with me, one, the motive must be counted here. Two, the reason for and why. Uba yape and I'll be cancer video in CNA. And I will make us on a film or a brow catching so over there out of the beche. Get it straight here. You meant to give me a gift. You don't mean to give me what? A bribe. Now, depends on what Amma want to do for Kweku or Amma intentions of whether destroying Kweku or change Kweku's narrative to be who he is not. The narrative now would be better so this video the POB with Amma. I'm envelope me what the mommy. Me so envelope no more. Would they casa atu a tray a friend of voice over. Now Amma man a voice over say yes, and on this day 23rd, and when we met him here, we presented our gift, our bribe to him. Here was the bribe Kweku Annan is taking. What do you want the viewers to understand? May I
clarify, because these are the who accuse.
But I am also to tell you, this is how he does his work.
I am not even arguing that, but what I'm saying is, many wouldn't need a business deal, and I wouldn't need you maybe your mammy. Now me betcha what a gift. But me person we ye baby mammy. Now me ma what dear. The minute it becomes apparent, say me person we be mame, and I me person me ni winya interaction. No. At that point, if you still hang on to Sadi and what any gift, a bribe, and
Manti, I'm a Sanchim. Over
me say me free Dubai aba. Kweku me no business be a we minia me ba na mache wade. And no mache wade. There is no strings attached. There is nothing to do. Me cha wade wie na 2 weeks later me fro na mka che ose Kweku. Wonim me pese wo koye bibi ma me after I have given you that gift no. Sa time no ade no wasesa ni din o ana me sweeting wo. That's not a gift. That was a gift with intention. And are those two things they say?
But this story okay, a separate thing altogether. Oh, now say I say entire.
Media crowd and general me say anas the end between me can was a generalities of these definitions
but when I walk on it's a whole different dichotomy. The whole kind of it even comes under enticement. It even comes under you're trying to hypnotize the person in a certain by way of using these elements. What it says is
hypnotizing an album.
Because there's a certain form of bringing the person's mind under control. This is it. Under control. If you try to bring somebody's mind to a certain form of control and domineering, it may not necessarily be that of just a word. It can come on grounds of material.
Hey, Mr. Wu, Kweku please you.
So what I'm trying to do
to you is that are there a certain
category? But then, in the case of Anas, there me Kweku so be say me na me investigation. Obi be try ko investigate Anas.
Me say enya hokra na me contend, but me no, I am trying to pick a culture of gifts. Oh, corruption no aye wono. This culture of gifts eka ho. Me bana me ma wo gift na woje. Na fe me hia bibi free wo ho na me baby sawa. Wo be ya de corona mami because of the gift. That is not a gift. That is no longer a gift. That thing has become something else, and we need to clarify it. And
exactly. Ni na wo kanina e wo ni basis. Corruption. Oh, it's only as I say a fire when we are church because obi any serving previous obi abroad be strange. That's I don't know. You must read in between the lines. It means that suddenly you have been compromised on one. But I'm not
I am building a case around the culture of Achedian and how Achedian leads you to compromise if you are not careful. And as you put, my exhaustive for me, but a good question, but I just wanted to build that thing with gifts, and we will come to that. A good, they say, also, Omumisa question, to direct question, where yes or no. Has a grandpa ever given you money to pay? Oh, Kweku Ayla. I mean, Kweku Bra. Maybe. It was for more Mabasono, a mini Kweku Namini Dim Como. We are enjoying. Yeah, I am enjoying myself a lot. Senior Gilbert Waba. I was trying to put your question, maybe. Na network in a year off. Kweku excellent. Maybe. Network can be frustrating, but here he is. Kweku. Maybe two questions maybe because I pile it up. What next one.
I'll say that a question is saying.
Say, would this come grada to pay any police commander?
Let me say, let me say and say clear. Opako to me bodia. Wait to bet me a bodia of winner. Memphesika Emma Opete say, Obet me a bodia. When you pet power grown your petty. You see, I did your bobo, FFM 1.
Yeah, about petty Nankasabia. Any I
may come with no way to bet. I'm with me a bodia. Between me. Memphesika Emma Grada, some former police officer. 1. 2. Me fast cancel my police officers on fair my grada, vice versa. 3.
I like
Many
that.
grada see sika sembia. Everything be a me be a quick me company any business or any business. Me kwaji pride wa grada ho. And I mean kwaji sika be say police whatever no. So evidence is will be to the and of course I see a display with evidence and that's it.
That's it. Adriana prepare say, I'm a please ask why he did not investigate Agrada. So you say me to 2 more questions, as quickly as you can and as much as you can answer for me.
First of all, as I saw mutimi me say, dear Ben and I what Agrada hunti anon be say investigating. And your question is me to a mom. 1. But then were they also watching the story I hear recently about cybercrime and cyber fraud? So our story no. It was where a trigger Agrada answer the same winner. Then a trigger cyber fraud investigation. We had a number of television stations, they were into what you call charlatanic adverts. Underline the word charlatanic adverts. Agrada TV station, Ayakanda TV, was not exempted from TV stations and no more charlatanic adverts. Now, and I trigger National Communications Authority for Emasa charlatanic TV. You list to me Ama, you list to movie. Me pane too. Ebe bo TV scene come somebody a charlatanic adverts we. Me before Agrada TV station standard TV station was not exempted. Ye bonina. Adia chair they are talking me answer. National security went ahead and caused closure to all the TV stations. When close the TV stations, subsequently, all the TV stations in were again open for them to transmit to airspace. Bisam said, which of the TV stations and the national security for NBA, Agrada TV stations was the only TV station Omumye and Famama. Omote, Omuhuyana, and there was some Moka. And you know, better me, then I know better me, you are Agrada. Now, for a true Ghana, you're talking me and some of them, I said, Mamino to Ghana. See, or your double money. When the one came here to make two assembly to them when you're young for them. In previous, as a reasonable, rational human being, who could have 5,000 Ghana, who could have 10,000 Ghana, now said in previous, what Jimmy, that's a won't be fiscal way in your business. Now, see, may they call command, not their double money or their mouth. My goodness, when I come in the phone, dig down a fucking moment of one. My goodness, how foolish. What is it when I call command God as on double the man? No one double now more than the answer. No, I just say, can you me? Kwekuna, maybe you be too much. Maybe put this out with sick and it's now 1 day. Double money now, oh, yeah, with Yanamwa, what fuck can be true? I do sick. Many Coco investigator. How cheap of it? I'm going to say, in the investigation on what say, I swear God, I won't do it today, I won't do it tomorrow. By the way, I won't contract me. It is a whole corner grad of boo free. That tells you.
Okay.
Ama, when am I Ghana for you? How unreasonable, how irrational we are. When you see that, you say, I got that home. Me say, me yes, I'm not dealing with him conform ruthlessly on this Agrada issue because I was getting so much tired. I'm getting so much tired with this Agrada episode of rubbish. What rubbish is that? What's wrong with these people? Who do you see? Can na me ba ama. See the earlier now open. And we are so be honest the person was in IBDD. And it's a one work. Yes, I'm the not need to do on one. No, I didn't see car. Me, I mean, what is it? I would this time go in and say, says the camera would and for the trans now the other.
This one is asking you to investigate Obia Yenchia. Okay, Mate, what I say. Now, bless that took a see back what was who is your greatest nemesis, shortcoming, or weakness, or Hima, Anas, and Amagraheb, and Crofomiansa. Choose that.
What is your shortcoming? Weakness.
Who is your nemesis? Or Hima, Anas, and Amagraheb. Who is your greatest nemesis? Yibakmam.
Now we're ready. None of the above.
There are 2 questions, the way I see them. 2 answer, mommy. Or so why there were problem because or Hima ya wadani will pay. Anasa remi ya wanasa ani want to kakesi anasa
Just
biya ni amagrahe
or practice just a practice on him we are what done you pity and what can I say
or hima pity and the man clarify was simple for mu dia hine how pa or hima pity anasa magrahe nipa ni mi yesa why na tete wo pa
none of the above, trust me, none.
Would you do? But this is
none of the above. Then pity him out for the I don't know how much oh, none of the above, trust me.
As well as that's why or say none of the above. Migusu make questions. One more questions, you can put the questions. I'm trying to find the questions. I think most of these are actually comments rather than questions. No, I am an attentive listener. Me pese Kweku flow. Me pese mutie Kweku ne arguments. No, I don't want to interrupt. I want you to actually get the full thing. Obi so yanko alligator pepper famra because Charlie case now brody. Obi say Anas is in court with you. Is that true or false? And I win him.
No, Anas ni me in court. Besi ne yama. Messi di Anas be drew bibia. You didn't drew. Anas into me for men court. Only honorable Kwame Japan na mo court. Then also court di asam na pepe. Then che mo be hu sa asam no. Nipa amene ne wo court. Former police IGP. Ura David Asante Pitu. E drew be no mo kwa asam.
Obi bisa ho asam. Court case will be commenting on it ana.
Well, then say no obi artist asam no no papa no we hu the smoothness level. What to read him? So quite you move to 3 more was asam no for 9 tribune. And I was on 9 tribune. No. Judge ne asam na come Chief Justice. In the end you train the Chief Justice the better.
Okay. And also no me go to make Obi say when I most a statement than a question, or say you were unethical when you allowed Manasseh to lie for your viewership. And no comment to be a bear.
Or say Manasseh lied for viewership.
My money the intro.
Oh, okay, Matthias, great. First of all, in Nipan I saw I want a blessing.
Bless beyond belief, yeah.
Sir Manasseh lie you, one lie you, Kweku. I am not pretending to be a Superman. I told that story about Manasseh. We didn't owe that story of Manasseh and the lady in charge, the lady on the bike. Ebiom, Ama, young person be exclusively to that story. We issue a disclaimer. Yet also means each and every person be at uncle for a pebble bomb within. You invite home say Mumra programmers come with it. In journalism, I'm a well-experienced broadcast journalist. Ethics in the minimum, don't use the word ethics on me. Some for one, you invite them. So only Mobia or say, Manasseh dear throw on why your body dear, say you can your friend or your I'm also subjecting this individual to speak proof. When the Manasseh body ask any panel, young from some random. Now, with him, Obia bet me back stories. Yakupo doing an information to provide with BBI. BPA, and Manasseh, I'm a and prepare. Munko say, Net2 TV, A2 disclaimer. Net2, Efre, the people involved, so Mumbra, Obi by Obiama. So how do you use the word say it was unethical? By the way, my main sister Montias said, "Sa program yambe just for the viewership sake, the pamucho. Ama program ya wuye. To say that whether it will put me in a paper school and so Ama, you just basically want to serve certain listeners or viewers you don't even know them. More to say is that those you know and those you don't even know. It's a program for purposely because you see, people's mind have been skewed into so many fallacies. To say that oh, a beer they buy purposely for BB and no, I don't know your program you want. No, that's not the import. If the man said yeah, Obeka no some no call the bed. One will say from some ransom, woman. We have to go ahead and do our work. And you go to me.
As soon as I say to another big one, or say so say what's the gift taking in your problem? Why did you not take a grad as gift? So no the end gift.
Na me ba o. At the end of the day, me to agrada. Me nya hwe man. Me nim ni baby a. No, the fact say gift enye kind of saying enye ade a prohibited. Say no so mark my say to stranger be the gift man no age. Say na say we asa. Na woni mu obi a wonam ka kwan say wo pa na obi share string no present envelope na wo so age. Why? Are we therefore saying that wisdom is gone? Can't say knowledge is gone and all of that. No, and then there's a only mobia. And I quite be so if you're winning the pan of Panama, winning the pan of share, I business be an people and I check their bin. That's fair. I wouldn't need also the gifts. Oh, they couldn't have taken a that gift to say, or the until let's say a co friend or a pizza one. Or if you trade him with that, Sikano de Ban, for me, like Kweku, ya metia, and it be a better family, and let me just show me this kind of buy. That's it. You doing as it, or the gift of Bemia, Mediana, say, managing hair wrong. No.
And to gift to the Kweku say, Opa, and I would Nipanema will gift her, Opa, and I would.
Maminka insist what I say. Law be in Ghana, and maybe any our jurisprudence that prohibits gifts. We'll be on check in our criminal code, in our offense and civil jurisprudence. Me say, maybe any Ghana a cassetia gift. No, into so big gift as any panonium from somewhere. Depends on the circumstances that surrounding the gift.
Okay. Shwa de Funche, Mr. Language in the year, Mammy, Mr. I don't block people here because I want everybody to be able
to. But your friend is saying,
or the Shwa de Funche, only need to be in contact into the
what I have no. The person make a show me say, Kweku, I engage people on intellectual base. 2, I engage people with a certain sense of wisdom and intelligence. I don't engage scavengers, and I don't engage rooks and rats and ragamuffins. Me engage.
I know we don't know. Debut. Shwa the Funche ni obi fufuro bi na eko.
And the program now no transfer no. There's a certain record needs to. Yeah.
David, onokra de enya wona wona ko ne blogger fufuro, but the language is not acceptable for an adult.
Yeah.
The America. Also when you will be kumpo na obi adidi watema na waye ode the free one mobile, you are responsible for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You are responsible for what you write. You are responsible for what you say. And as an adult, you need to learn to represent yourself at all times. There be men blocking nipa me person for nipa me block no any sa fake malam no awaba no onko pay adwumanye no or when a court case man for abra one lawyer no ono de me block no sansem hunu ne me mpe wo hakora sa nipa we mo am block no in deleting the comment na me block no ntem in pesem hunu bia we area ha Monkafra, lawyer Simi Misao, when he mentioned Big Akwesi's name and asked him who he was working for, what did he mean by that? What's the question? I said, when the time I will mention
yeah. One at the bar, lawyer, lawyer
Bafo.
Yeah, great one. My problem now what I grad will be coming from this question. Second problem, if I have to say, I had a problem. If it's helpless.
Hey,
very intelligent person. Now, Tama expose. I would call it then. Tama expose. And I do a grad idea, so you poor man in the and I make for an example, you bought videotape. Some videotape, not this bigger quiz. A woman. Apart from bigger quiz, there was another papabia, Openibia, Memphis, and Jimmy White, honestly, a Ghanaian actor. But Ama, me, sir, and perform me movies, you can hardly know them. And the time video ni rolling up. And I mean, say, why, sir, boy, yeah, or check. Why, where your friend is saying, enemy producer someone who feels up so your friend a bigger place. Enemy business of why a bigger place or near to my edema. NMDC man to us. But later no me pap on 10. ya meti ya say you see me bigger quiz need your man council my money. Ama put this issue here under scrutiny, further scrutiny. Say,
Men, I'm hearing it for the first time, and
yeah,
I'm trying to
me
understand
money
it.
deal,
Slow
my
down.
money deal. However, say me bisa say why not yet to man. Eventually, sort of, I grab that TV station. Yeah, but both TV station come and me I grab that this on.
Ona munya Kweku frɛ. Mo ahu sɛ wo ha me ne ne kasa nti ade na mo frɛ. Munya ne frɛ. Na mo frɛ ko si ni phone mu amoma yi ne interrupt. I bet
Hello.
his ladies are calling say yes.
Hello. Ama.
Me wa. I bet I say what girls in my wada aje kura ma wo answer questions. Omo ha you
Hello.
catch girls in say obeba why.
Motimenka.
Ye ti won ka pa ai wo ti yenka.
Yeah, Motimenka.
Wo ti yenka dia yenko so yen so ye ti won ka.
Yeah. Call me there me sorry.
And I bet I say your girlfriends in no more frɛ no. Omo ha ye anwumere yo.
What say?
O say wo girls in my ane na disturb courses ano.
Oh, Debbie, and yes, sir.
Lawyer.
One kasa.
Alberta no one there kasa asem no. But me who say Rasby di ba could be to her. Rasby say please ask Kweku whether he thinks it's appropriate for journalists, especially investigative journalists, to accept any form of gift.
Well, my question would be fair. Yes. Investigative journalists, they accept a gift, or accept a gift, or a nipa, or investigative journalist, or a dofu, what you are saying, or a dofu, or movie, obetumi you kind of say for example why you demand will be changing many panel action at the effect and from so you to say that journalist Nigeria journalists know a need for a part of us even judges to come to media some media attention they are human beings and they can never be prohibited from taking anything yes me now a bit depending what exactly is entailed in that gift before see a big gift to them as a journalist. You must ask yourself this: circumstances under which an independent gift or the man will quite bend because your conscience is clear. Or the man on grounds of death. Why you be man? And now, for say, Nipano, one in one, me too, yummy. As a journalist, you want to go with politicians, business people, all kinds of people. Now, say, Kweku, me, the idea way is my bro, madam, or the other not bring me. Yes, circumstance or this having a man, and to me, the investigative journalist, a gift is free now down for one. I said, circumstance or on any pan agent could have been a genuine, now, it's a that investigation here, I've done a fella, Manasseh Azuri Koye. Manasseh Azuri. At the time of Koye's PPA investigation, FA Ura, APA, the mobile Kaya, investigation, so we give one of Kaya. That was where some of us we had a cross with Manasseh Azuri. Why? Because Manasseh Azuri and Ankasa accepted ABA are not yet former public procurement authority, CEO. One, two, Papa and money come on the channel. Papa no money anytime they are of visiting Papa. What it means is that over here Papa na down for one way or the other, or time here Papa. But so this time no manage on the basis of father and a son. Not the same Manasseh and today we know. Over some course of investigate Papa no say or the contract for sale. Not this investigation about question remains who is the motive, the import, whether or not can a Manasseh GNO GNO would be on grounds of the corruption can it be and ask to see I don't want
When Belusi Kweku sound and I'm Maka Somonte. Kweku Timenka. Okay, I feel Miss Metonka. Aye, will be the back to her. Namente Batasia, but Peter Bibiato or say, ask Kweku about his case with IGP and a specific question. Also, why the judge keeps advising the lawyer if he really at Kweku Besiaba, no Besiaba. Busiafo, once you couldn't hear, and I'm can say yeah, your mindset, it is clear in a lot of our dealings. I hope say obeko no waba phone calls never be see a app no more aya na yesa. Mo ama be pie ha nwumre no. Me ne Kweku Annan na edi nkomo. Menim say mumu bebre. He's an emotive character. It's mumu dodo no ano. You have emotions in response to the name. But I'm hoping, and so say in this space, in this community, we will also grow beyond the feelings and your friend is saying passionate responses to Niyamana and also be able to dialogue. Can I say I'm actually very proud of a lot of you. When I asked you to call order was restored in many levels, and I'm very proud of that one. I know it is emotionally challenging, but it is very important also to present various perspectives. Obi send them a message or say I'm reading your face. Say don't read my face. I am actually having a conversation. Listen to the conversation. Listen to the conversation. Take the whole thing holistically. Don't just read my face. What you are reading in many places, poker face. It is my poker face. Because I need you to see a poker face and for you to listen. Akwaba. Maybe some questions be. Why did the judge keep advising the lawyer if he knows whom he's dealing with? Do you understand the question? Because maybe share the background. What's the question? Then we can answer. Yeah. Otherwise, we can move on.
Great. Okay. On that case of many former IGP David Asantea Pietuno, I'm a mewa na treasure. I know see undercover investigations here about this Nigerians there. Oko Nigeria is here. Womu odinbi but Omoba Ghana had the metamorphosis into different groups. We call them the black the black art. Yes. Now what happened is the investigating at the findings but including police poster you see Nigerians the criminals we may be see under David Asantea Pietu era. And as Nigerians be see police post. What to be that? Minimum corona was no. Minimum say Ghana ni beti ni aba Dubai or say him for no about the see police station at the amomo ho their minimum in different jurisdictions. Now, I just want to give one finding. I finding said. Some Nigerians say no more Ghana or more to say. Wama to mudin Great Men's Progressive Club. Great Men's Progressive Club. Woman no see star police post in Ewo Nungwa Greater Estate 3rd Avenue. Woman see during a period time. So being James, I was wrong to question a period why these Nigerians could bail that police post. 2, when we see police post new year, just a couple of months, there was a heavy armed robbery. Ewo sa Greater Estate one Forex Bureau, you're robbing twice. What the nature of what? The copy more court in a P2% just may defame because I am suggesting say or no Esha conflict use the DND. Well, I don't want any nothing more. But no be asking him say P2 and I'm in a kata. Be that as it may, he went to court. Okay. Go to court. Or coin or beko uncle ama. For almost 1 month, getting to 2 months. Na appear to the lawsuit na me. However, now one more the story about better information superhighway internet and also say Kweku Annan e defaming no. Now I saw the lawsuit on social media. Now to the interesting part. On that lawsuit, one my yamianka sami video no suppose there me kan e won na tu no. One the video na attach it and on master say transcript of the video. One more transcript in this way no. And on master state to a transcript you say Omo susu say 1. Eyo madwen said. Omo ehuni said and yama miensa. Our transcript. So in the transcript, they did not base the transcript on the basis of fact. They were just conjecturing. Now let me tell you this, meaning your lawyer, you cannot take on the matters of conjecture to court. No, it's a statement of fact. So no, or they be confirm kono. 1 month to 2 months, na me lawsuit nkwana me nsanka. Yes, now was social media all over the world say, yeah, the suit abrem me person meko. Ama me wo getting to saying, Enna, one more sign edit publication the by say, me person meko court, and I'm avoiding the court into the substitutive service edit breme. What it means basically in law, and they say they want to go for a judgment in absentia. By that time, na me lawyer, I enter event and appearance. But you can't file a defense. Lawyer no ako edit adi ako to court ho. And oko US oko ya ade no waba. Waba ye ba be file a defense. Abrantie lawyer yi asen ako court say, "Wo mo hwehwe me a movement in the court ne man no sa substitutive service no mo fango." Eho ene justice ko be di na e ka kire say, "Ora, why you juma as a lawyer how many years?" And also, he's been in the bar for like 4 or 5 years. And also, so what? There will ye emma. Any panel no more yard and only more kind business as I which idea we yard. And I'll catch a judge and say, a day or dinner we air a birthday. Or best judge and say, judge in and yana. Dom na oma only birthday no crime this was our birthday. Or the judgment to the command in the client and not I am yamshe any day. Amomo mo medidi no manom te so medidi no manom no maji o mani no e na judge ne ka chance ye nyesa kona ko hwehwe nipa no na sign 17 this is my instruction ko na mo ko hwehwe nipa na mo san 7 biom ama eho ene ye difference ko de dawo enti me kan na eye on the 7th of December 2021 ya that's just about 2 weeks ago enti o ma ba hwehwe me a 7 me no me wo hwa na bailiff frame ka chem so wa dibi demand me minim say no mpo dia judge na ka no e no mo di so a o mayesa me ko gi ya me minim say no nti me gi ana me de share me letter box mo me ka no na me tubu ka kwa dia me na me fi e me wo hwa na me lawyer frame ka chem say ade no mo de ma me na wo he na me say share letter box na me san pie kwa bonten na me ko yi wo me letter box na o se me hwa so me hwa so a ya throw wo so say discontinuous how appear to one any case video. And I'm a lawyer and catch him said the Abano rule. I'm saying I'm a maker assassin when the next day, a Monday on the 8th of no on the 13th, yeah, on the 13th, be a coco. A dear betting. Ya cornea could do court on one. Appear to the Jinahui. The lawyer Sameda Kuni Jinahui. Any memoir rantier, a brantier kitu ebina by will be Sukano, names or me a lawyer for our Mudinachi. Your friend, mini emissary or be a P2 sorry, a miss sorry. Enna, or no Sameda from the bone in crew. Bone in crew, says you see an asano, say, woman then the case me. And I'm a lawyer, son, or no. My lord, woman to me, you know, we soon catch a woman case me in the first place, you know. Ama, one more. Suit on the brain, so lawyer for any airship program here. Mean to be more exactly, but I'm trying to say something that would make sense. And they said, one more chamber no, a law firm no. One more serial number, so more DND, women go to a lawsuit, including one more year code of a year, one more the practice, and every year be a law firm be a number of the practice. 2 numbers now were not quoted. First saying the suit, including the notice of years, 2 documents we. It's on a meme lawyer and story of cities have the judges or on says how do we lawyer 9 years I don't know appear to easy. What it means is then and your lawyer documenting in free law firm into appear to none what trust and wires have and will be sad. The judge in bisa appear to lawyer no and also and here that dear not judge no who do you make sure the anyway go and make sure that things are done this way. And your honor na judge ni bisa say na mo se mukra mu ndi case ni biom a adia eye a notice to the court say mu ndi biom no say notice na we he and walk out judge and say o ma file deda and the judge say bi na me pono so o say my lord ya serve deda and the judge say no be me ti e bi na ha ama Ohona sameda akon airtime paper no or they share clerk na or take judge in or they copy man na clerk ni John or him. The judge was very stern and was sameda akon say or say, do you think this is the best practice? The judge no him who send any boo fuba. It was 3 day man no so on the like lady need to until yeah and a judge and say no and they feed it. Judge and shall admit who said sameda akon you ready to answer further questions. On a judge and so knows well. Obama a ruling on said the case so ama and then the time bare minute bare me fan say in 5 minutes no more than 5 minutes. You said judge ya train the pen paper and your true ya do beating ya true bia. Yet one of time a year na the attention ban so. And no really say from Sebebia yeti case way we're recusing of every case way so on transcription. Number 2, we refer case way at the Chief Justice. Now let me explain something to you why the judge recused himself. On the 7th of December, substitutive service. Listen to what happened. Two things that happened there. Sameda, who worked for Anas at the same time, so they record on a bar and a bear record the judge. Anas and a journalist, we free them on the front page of New Proceeding Guide. And omode me Kweku Annan me picture koko to her. And now some na course who courtroom on ama omuko to word for word verbatim. Yes, sir. It's an affront to the judicial process. A dirty and must not be accepted in judicial practices. But this is what Sameda Akon did. Now, in this case, the judge feels that you have impugned certain biases to that of his integrity. However, in order for say as somebody better clear, he must recuse himself. But in that spirit of it, another thing that lawyers will tell you is that time the judge was in his best mood. Other than that, he would have cited Sameda Akon for contempt of court, and he could have, faced the full rigors of the law. Saying same way and obey the court. This insolence and impudence, any of my and obey a judge, or the chairman. And they say, Apietu. Papa Penimuse, na the young woman say, Apietu is also a lawyer. I will tell you what, Apietu was one of the finest police officer Ghana ever had. Or a police officer with a law background and forensic background. I know Apietu well. But Apietu could reduce himself to this like a rat to mop the floor. Masa Esuko no Sameda Akon reduce his integrity to nothing but this. I was ready to ensure this case will go at full length.
But me headache. It's still processing information. I'm trying to understand. Remember back. Once I processed and I have an intelligent off-back question on that one, I will. But Rasbi, say, can you please ask Kweku about the ethics of journalism in relation to acceptance of gifts? It's an ethical question. Specifically. The ethics, what does the ethics say on acceptance of gifts?
Let me tell you straight away. There is no ethics in journalism, in anywhere in the code of conduct in journalism, that says a journalist cannot accept gifts. No. Please. But say, read my lips. There is no code of ethics in any of our, if you like, jurisprudence in journalism that says a journalist must not take a gift. Journalists are not supposed to take bribes. Journalists are not supposed to take money for which they have not worked for. But it's a different situation under these circumstances of giving a gift to somebody. Depends on what the journalist has done for that individual. Ama, get it straight. Don't get it twisted.
I'm confused though. What say? They shouldn't take money for which they've not worked, but say a gift your money they have not worked for.
Can you? Can journalists receive something that he has not worked for?
Gift, no, and I make in fact, may a limit of gift and parabit media.
Oh, you see, that question, I don't know how people want to get it, properly to understand. One, and I make as human as we are, maybe. And can a goat wake up and dash a sheep a gift? Is that possible? The day that thing will happen. The day that thing will happen means that it's a story, it's a news. But the journalists are not super beings. They are not angels and they are not spirits. They are human beings. Much as they are human beings, their role in society is to seek to educate, to inform, and to entertain. Maybe if the journalist does his work, emfa gift asem ho na wakoya ne private edwuma bi di ama obi or your journalist, all right, wakodi ne private business di ama obi na say ni pa na ma ne gift a wo so waye bone wo kwan ben so asem ben ye kenya
no see abotre me you confuse me process it
my
Mrs. Story, no, I'm processing them in real time because a lot of these things are new. But solid, I was shocked by the concept of it. I am appalled by the concept of it. I've got to say that from the beginning. That Obi explaining solid to me. Obi explaining solid to me. This was my face.
Was what? Was who?
My name say Nanette here.
I see. But who is this individual?
Oh, this individual is also a journalist. And in fact, as much as the person said to me, I realized, say, a program na say, and it's shocking. It's still shocking me years down the road.
No. Don't be so overwhelmed over there. You see, sometimes when you're reducing maybe to a certain conceptualization, and don't let us also behave like super beings, please.
No, I'm
solid,
not. Solid. Maybe your teacher, me super being, me a very human, but Charlie.
Yeah.
And you maybe will have me to me. You maybe will meet me.
Now, Solia Sema making. Solia Sema making. Ama. Now, my friend, that will scoop. Okay. Ghana high wo asma making the wo team in kantem se meboa wonim say ye mo fra o moko school edru awade ya e mo fra no tumi de nyoma bebre ko to the extent ye say we a teacher ni ne gift unti bi da on e wo Ghana e wo hapa me ye sure so be the message be ba be confirm it ye de mo fra no tumi de nyom wo mo de nyoma kokko check also we ye me teacher gift no de ko teacher no me donyame me say obi the message be ba
with meje chocolates with meje flowers with meji balloon hanesi enu ye wachede edru wa wode ani abeche wa woda ni abeche wachede
na enu wo die den
esa no de flowers and flowers ne hwan ne de abre me
na chocolate bar no
me wa list of things a meti meje and sa niema no e wo me code of practice ye de ma me list of niema and for specific
okay
ye chere niema bia ye timi chaade and when e bia how me yankrabu for omudi eid no be person beche wade no they cannot come and charge me anything more than they said 50 pounds cry ye koye what they do 2,000 but yet you could have it with Apple Watch the beche teacher ye de ma one was na there in the book and so sa gift it appears the same said there is a cultural thing about it in Ghana which
and the ones that my chat on the movie me say it borders on a certain culture and the more being fa sa tag na me swamiti opete de so me no me nyan so nzi for me yo entino mo fa we mezo opete so this what they say opete ti so she I'm a dreaming we am into
I have comported myself very well and then you be
opete a check akraka we ni bandana bomiti so me ntimi so we ti be sere wom gift na ye yi o gift sanama aye no opete o me hu dere me ejomunya empete agro we a obesiana ye hwe ba bi di afa no most importantly media they making a can say unless some person we have to engage in a certain intellectual discourse as a nation or as a state na ye deba our jurisprudence to ban gifts there ama and no people should send private events and private bail and call parliamentals okay a man for emphasize private bail and call parliamentals omo dey call parliament be translate debate say Empire say a gift and I say a gift. But then for me, what I do know, many can free way. Gifts are man for Jew, come and yes more. Christmas abbey, hampers and num cremua echo, hampers.
Yeah, no, I know can who be in judgments. No, essentially a judge and also be bring ye. A can who be na ye din near me din.
Yeah, it's the new
Gift
baby
no. Gift
there
no
is a
do no
precedent
bribe.
too. And I feel so there is a way your nyoma be kwa Kweku me
And I
beto ye.
boy. Me to ba ku bi
Then
one thing when they say gift no do no bribe. And I'm boy.
well, this may be a conjecture. I do not want to join that conjecturing trio. Whether a bribe and a bribe, I don't have an evidence to say this. And me myself, I haven't even delved much into stories that borders on gift or otherwise is bribe. But nevertheless, to say this, that culture now, for example, like Solidi, make we me buy and let's senior for we journalism we doing. Me beto solid. Me beto na solid no na si training na say commonly. Yen ye pet words, choice of words, dirty and we use them. But solid na say journalist may really do no mama the transport on faka no ko day. Ama and lots of media houses will be. Yes, who see there be, but the point is that a culture what Ghana ha womu ye make us womu nya ye. You see, and that is not good. Yeah, that is
but
not good. And so see a journalist yes, yes, and so see a journalist yes, and then the one publishing story nana is very dirty. It won't say a study yeah you can do. Yeah,
that is the common practice. Me say me.
Exactly.
And I tested it and I was just gobsmacked. So wow, my story no will not see a day of
will
light.
not get carried.
But that makes the solid a bribe.
Yeah.
It makes it a bribe.
Yeah. In a way, we can read bribe interpretation into it, or even blackmail. Because as a one of transport I saw knowing what the mommy and I can even deduce blackmail cry a womb. Oh, it is yeah, the story number one. There's nothing like because he at the end of the month.
It is bad out of order, and even government agencies,
but
even government news agencies.
So, Ama, Ghana Journalists Association, if you are aware of this, PRIMPAC, private events and media corporations, are you aware of this? Media Commission, are you aware of this? Some said these three agencies, which of them, and I'm sorry, Akase Itia Soliho. No, make me so
we are making that claim now. I am disgusted by it. I am appalled by it. Say, and one man, three names, sir, three agencies. Mr. Montague, one mommy. Me pamocho Ghana, three agencies. Wrap it up. We will come back again and continue. Agencies,
Ghana Journalists Association for.
Yes, I do
and a PRIMPAC. PRIMPAC, a private newspapers association. Woman is way.
One more say yes, Mibisa.
And a media commission for media commission. A courthouse of media houses. Or you could be yourself. Woman is an emoina. Is I'm saying to the monk saying they're all glozing with the eyes. Yes.
We need to ask.
With the eyes. More man for far dealing show petty here, made a petty and may pass what all.
Oh, petty show. But I think in these conversations, when these things come up, Meno, it is a bugbear of mine and it's up. Listen, say story, beba. Na story, no, a one merit. Na wo as a professional journalist, you refuse to publish because Obi and Fescal share.
I'm your son, in the dinner there, is it Lena but me? Swat. Oh, okay. More than 10 more we could have an eye problem. Especially
eye problem, but still means me more.
Into a gun in Yana.
Oh, you're Ghana nipa or the sword watch. Islamic name.
Okay.
Don't worry. Maybe I'm not familiar with. But or say, why must we give you transport for doing your job? Because because a news agency,
it's a very legitimate question.
Big,
yeah, a very legitimate question.
Huge. And it's a bad practice in our media. Echo. It has no place in media practice, really. It must go. It is an unethical practice I want to call. I really do. Because you person legitimate news items, it make it publicity. So like can be into the useless news, baby. It make into your spaces, because people publish what you pay for, not what has merit, and that's a problem. Me guess, Kweku Pete one. We did the other too. Kweku freezy, and that's all. There's a bit to the work. I feel that network in Baba say Kweku Brown. Now I'm any abrema accolade. Gift time our Ghana. Don't want to hear bribery. I'm telling you. Yes, useless news make the news, and the important ones don't. Kweku. Now me catch you. Say then my guest on the show has been Kweku Pete one.
I know the I know the I know the ah hinche we dear easy o
Opete ba ko.
better ehini dear
Connect too, but I hope say whatever your views, at least you've got to know the man a little bit. I hope say a little bit. And then you're no net seat and walk at your own and then you ama getting under his skin, trying to scratch the surface and present what is beneath the surface. I've seen a few glimpses of the man or a multi-layered man, but I hope someone will be of the glimpses. As you may see, open so what questions nasa. Maybe enough so the last question is Kweku married. Open with application form but to me inbox me connection now say
can't contact you.
Well, passport pictures no Kweku here for application.
Oh, I'm for 3 day.
You hear some prints from grandmother back one I suggest parental signature okay.
About me the veteran how to go about it. Yeah.
Okay. And as well as brain box them me and discuss. Senior say
No.
it's cause of solid. You have people calling themselves activists. Is he guilty? Is he guilty of what? Senior Gilbert Bisa, I will make that your last question. Senior Gilbert is getting the last question. Senior Gilbert, pose the question again. Let me Mr. Kweku Niyonko. Maybe not in 3.5 hours also. Maybe Hadiasa, Kweku Sukro Hadiasa, Niyonko Dakakra. Now my dad the next time I was here near Dinkoma. Obisi Ohima already sent photos. Ohima do photos about. A case now abroad. Okay. Senior Gilbert send me Mr. once what you Soliana.
Oh, Ama, men solid, but I'll tell you this. Time and I made back journalism as a reporter. Look, Soli and Kweku for me, solid Kitwa.
Sir?
They make out my fear. As a reporter, no, because if you man won't mean shall say me do baby woodry. Or senior editors or news house or your small assignment over. If you assignment, Ama, it me done into Kwa. It me done into Kwanka and she can't fire shit. Because you know something.
It's me done into a brody, Miss me. My baby beach cleanup and Crawford beach cleanup, don't know which na omonko ehona di pakro ni betia me na so mama
yeah
would listen fasa sika we mam me here sika we di akota de na am dani sika ni ma di pakro na am dis kan ma di pakro ni wie ye no a wo ye di obeye wie ye ni wie ansa na obeka a che dem say ye solid na se sa solid na anfa me know say me say bia wo call ya ansa because me na me ntiase and they worked out say me ntiase me hunu say dey see ye no and one woman when he went and did what he did, no, the news never came on. It was never published. And I understood.
Journalists also one day solid and ama. And yes, also know in the coffee. Oh, and you see, uko news houses be anwa. You want more small more assignment. Did so. It's no time na ye kwa ye senior editors smart yen na ye kwa assignment ye na ya jeje says kanina but ye nyini e bedru bempenswe ye trust me a book on by you say no e practice na a culture be a SE guy e traso na etimi di any die eba edwuma no just many times ya na man for visit journalists for young of jama ye nim deals then but it's a worker however the prestige that is attached to the job ama a fancy abroad when we are schools saying we are journalists no when we are schools saying ama there is always on one hand what you have to go and study all the time. For example, like Kweku, many entertainment life except to do all the time reading, researching. They are now to books on. And I know Emma with me getting much closer to your viewers and listeners, and you tell them stories that is worthy of listening or viewing. Say no something.
Matthias, Obi say information superhighway and a man HBGBs, but listen.
Okay.
Mommy and Fau, or say what kind information superhighway and a home when you know. The man
I didn't hear.
meaning that's half an hour, a man of 20 questions. I want me young for that. And we did. Yenya the honey and yet, Obi Mr. Pete, you take small solid. How can I doubt by steady what it?
I didn't say any day, never became any Indina is here near. Ya dia. That's all. And you.
I'm a catcher, what would you edit an idiot? No much senior editor,
I'm at the crow. Yet we judge senior editor, dear command. Nipa bisa on your troy and a crepa. Yet the senior editor, dear command, means house.
May say it is awful. More money sad and baby. Your media is skewed. Your media is fit for purpose, and one of the reasons why the media is as compromised as it is that practice. Because medicicanema won't their story and it is saying you must cover it. The story you're worthy, no, or no need the young cover because it's that simple. And in fact, paying for a service, is bribery. Your friend is solid, your man a nice name, a bribe. Or bribe an editor to publish your story, and it is awful. It is systemic and endemic in your media, and it's one of the campaigns I want people to actually pick up on to clean media system because it has no place. Anyway, Kweku, me that's it. Say ene wabadi yedi nkomo. I hope some Crawford they behaved themselves. I think so much.
There were a few words to be. Let me applaud you for. You've demonstrated to me how you have the quality and the flair to do this journalism, and it's highly worthy of commendation for your persona. The line of questioning issues all about what is hidden that people had issues with and possibly would want answers for a very long time and continue to be lingering on their mind. For me to have this opportunity to as it were, answer these questions and settle their mind, because nipa titiria no mo niama de do madwene so na omunya answers for na nipa no so ezo be answer na no so na what for me it is because the opportunity hasn't presented in itself until they be not answer for. But I do believe that by close of this interview, quite a number of people, if not all, you are satisfied with this curiosity of this and that and that. Now, since we say expose na me mami ho, me din na media, and then yet ne cells near Fiji. It's about Ghana. It's about a country called Ghana will become a safe haven near Betnam. Politically. They bring trade, socially, they bring trade, religiously, they bring trade. But it is about you and I together we think and talk and make a difference and make sure that Ghana, be one, if not the best place to live. My the gateway to Africa, beacon of democracy, golden age of business, and if and yet just a mantra or a cliche, it must and should. And walk the talk. Intimida or listeners no viewers no swat. Why are we meeting so I yet woman yoma? Now my name is show is a net wash it. I wash you.
Just say crowd your friend almost over to ja. Assume a system infant men fro crass you invite you to Solid campaign. Maybe I'm quite happy to campaign with you. Kweku, can we tempt you to join us on Solid anti-Solid campaign? Solid, how are you be weeding it out? You don't need to answer the question now. If we can tempt you to join the crusade against Solia, Brani and Kahwasen.
We don't even need to think so much about whether or not. We have to talk about this to stop it because in a way, if we didn't know and in a way, it goes largely to influence journalists in their line of duty to get it twisted or otherwise not even publish at all. And it is not good at all. And we must crusade to stop it. And I agree with you.
See, there you go. Or say he will join our crusade. Into more here so the leading crusade, and also I will call you all to start stalking Kweku and encourage him to get on the campaign trail and to get weed solid out of your journalism. It will be a tough crusade, but I think it needs to be started. It does need to be started. I am so proud. I have to say, audience, so we have comments. You started see a video. I hope we'll be brave. There are many people who were here who followed you because Kweku Annan from Net 2. But I think even I hope when you worked out how the platform is actually conducted, I think and it's been quite respectable after a while.
And I love your discipline and your fitness to control people on the platform. That's a very good one. Yeah.
I think we need to control spaces because this could also degenerate into something completely unacceptable. And I have to say, I am very, very proud of all of you, Ewaha. I am very proud. Thank you so much for being amazing. Thank you for going on this tough learning journey with me. I know it is emotive, and I appreciate the control on your emotions and anyway. You've made my evening.
Salute you. And then bye.
Good night.
Right.
We are learning. And say I am so proud of them. Thank you for being incredible. Thank you for conducting yourself with respect. Thank you for staying the course. And I do hope at least baby. Today it is self-restraint. It is being adults in our interactions. Or say, am I allergic to childish misconduct? Of course. I don't even tolerate it from my kids. Childish misconduct, it has no place in societal discourse, really, especially where adults are engaging. Space be anyhow. I respect control. I really do, and I appreciate it. And I want you guys to be aware of it, to be clear of it. I really do appreciate it. Nancy, me din komo, ma sheda na me de mo adwen kokoko baby. Ma sheda na me de mo feelings say kokoko baby. I know, come with me on that journey. Let's learn together. Whatever you think of Onipa, whatever opinions you have of Onipa, you must always comport yourself like an adult when you are engaging. Yeshia pa. Titenoa enka kasa no na enkrofo kasa from the beginning and kebed dani bi before frokra. But it's wonderful to see Nancy. We can call time. So we can call time on any maybe, and we can move things in particular directions. And you've given me a lot of hope today. Don't worry too much about it. I just wanted you to meet a man and to see the various layers. I think na in controlled environments on one kasa na lead discussion no anase wakọ baby mpa nkrofo a onimwo mene Kweku nkoma menini die no. It was unscripted as usual. There were no holds barred conversation. And Kweku was brave to come and have this discussion, not knowing where it was going. He's earned my respect a lot. Questions they could call baby many places here to tune baby, and I think he took them. He took them. If an ass will come, I will have an ass. Bless, what do you think? If you know how to get an ass, find him for me. I love an ass. I me an ass. You guys know. To bring him. Penny the penny. Me here an ass. Let me name baby a me an ass account be or me kwaka hello one will be me. But me name say your correct one or say your correct one. Until I don't know. More winning baby an ass. I me an ass and kasashe. And you can help me to talk to Anas. That day, and Kebesi the day I spoke to Kofi Kenata. So find him for me. It's not that I don't want to interview Anas. I don't know where to start. That would be amazing. Milady, bra. Connect to no expose me. Any problem. Feel free na me akra me here publicity need at on Juice Plus. This time is me papa chomo am wo han me da so ton Juice Plus why? Juice Plus amamansen.juiceplus.com. Me war journals, me war niema bebre, e wo me page so ha. And then I say supporters badge, me yes, no, any subscriber. Subscriber badge, is for more. My doing some person money me call on a journey, more pet premium content, me yet teachings videos specifically for them. And I'm looking for more people to come join. So we need to teach to practice intelligence because it's not automatic knowledge. It needs to be taught. If what, but that's it. And I make an answer. Me knew how many daily an answer the abremo. Nti mommy manage Kweku Annan sir. Why? Kweku will get him for me, sir. And you be you. Anas, me knew how I make Anas, baby, I mean Anas free. Nti Anas, maybe don't even raise your hopes. Mommy manage the menya the abremo, and I'm the abremo, manage it. Mambe was we are serious here. We don't need any unnecessary drama. No, I think say societal discourse, you must engage you. And you must engage bravely all the participants of society because you don't want to be ignorant about certain things. You want to know, you want to understand, and many people. But I wanted to understand. There's a lot of controversy surrounding me. I still don't understand all of it 100%, but this engagement has really helped me to understand. And yeah, we need to be brave. Warriors here. Intellectual perspectives in me. Questions I'm open to bisa nana grada no monko famra. If you can find me intellectual perspectives, I will engage. And to help me find the perspective and help me find nana grada. Munya perspective in the mame, minya angle I meet me I explore. Na mo mame mame contact I'm no. At the moment, no, minya perspective, no more the mame contact kurama me who questions I may be sana. And you need to help me figure out an angle. And if we can find an intellectual angle, absolutely. Yeah, I prefer supporters, but say, oh, my subscriber, I don't even know. Canada. I say, Canada. Anyway, listen, I love you guys, but it's 1:48 a.m. Oh, maybe I need to sleep. Watching, I'm so surprised. A power-packed day for me. So let me go and catch some sleep. And Obradi Yamede and Kwachenya Niasia watching. Nia engaging. Thank you so much for everything you do. And assalamu alaikum. Good night.